Hi, good evening, guys.
Hi.
Hello. We're going to wait for 5 more minutes to see if more people are joining, and then we can begin the session.
Okay.
Hi, Sia, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We can start.
Yeah, sure. So, hi everyone. I'm Sia Tomar, and I am a second year law student at MNLU Nagpur, and I will be your mentor for this entire selection process. Now, one thing about these sessions that I would like for it to be, I would like for you to answer those questions for me. So, before I begin, congratulations for getting shortlisted. And now you must prepare harder for the steps that are ahead of you. Now, before I begin this question, I know a lot of you have a lot of questions going on in your mind. So, if you have any queries that you want to get away with at the beginning of the session, then you may ask them to me.
Or else, I think you can post in a
Okay.
chat box as
Write it
well.
in the chat box.
Yeah, you can write in a chat box as well. So, see, we can cover the general aspect of it for now, and then we can take the queries as well while we move in the session.
Right, sure. Sure. Okay, so when you hear the word psychometric test, there is often this confusion that what does this test basically entail? So, as I also mentioned in the voice message that I had sent, this is not going to test your knowledge on law, on GK, or anything of that sort, right? Like you cannot sit and prepare for it. I mean, obviously, we're conducting this session and we want to familiarize with the process itself. But then this is not something that will be a book based test. It's more about your personality, right? How do you think? What are your beliefs? What are your values? And these are the things that a psychometric test is basically going to, test you on. A lot of you might not have given a psychometric test, but let me just tell you, there are no right or wrong answers in this examination. Like that is probably the biggest misconception that you can have. It's not like an academic exam, right? The university has access to your academic profile. They know how you've performed in CLAT, in 12th, in 10th. They know all of that. But the psychometric assessment will uh, assess you on things like how you make decisions, how do you handle pressure, how do you interact with people, how do you deal with conflicts, what are your leadership tendencies? Because again, this is a course which focuses a lot upon judiciary, right? It's the adjudication and justicing course. So it will test you on how you act probably when you become a judicial officer later on in life, right? So think of it this way, your application tells the university what you have done, but the psychometric test is going to help the university understand how you think. And that's why there usually isn't a single correct answer to your question. Now, I have a mock assessment test for you guys. I will with sir and he can share it on the group. But there are a few things that I want to tell you all before you attempt that test. First of all, whenever you're attempting a psychometric test, do not try to impress us. Trust me, that is the biggest mistake that you can make. People will start thinking what answer would make me sound like a leader, what answer would make me look mature, what answer would the university like. But the moment you start doing that, you're approaching the test incorrectly because you're supposed to answer keeping your authenticity in mind, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a test that is going to assess your beliefs. So do not try to portray yourself as the most perfect student or the most perfect leader. Secondly, when you're looking at questions, do not overthink. Read the questions carefully, understand them, and answer them honestly, and just move on. All right. Uh, don't keep going back to a question. I don't even think that you would have that option. But then don't think that, oh, if I would have answered that, probably I would have sounded better. That's not supposed to happen. And thirdly, remember that, again, as I said, the goal is authenticity, right? And not perfection. Nobody is expecting you to be perfect at this stage. Probably when the GD round comes or the personal interview round comes, you would be expected to, I'm sorry, you're going to hear the train come. It's a thing in the hostel. So I'm going to mute for a little while. Sorry about so where was I? Yes. So we were talking about this question. you will encounter questions that will get repeated. For example, you will be asked a question like, your sister is getting late for an examination, but you've encountered a traffic signal. So now what do? Do you pass that traffic signal, or do you stay there and you wait and let your sister skip the examination? And that similar question can be asked in another format. Let's say that an ambulance is there and it's carrying a patient who's in a dire state of wanting medical attention. Should that ambulance wait for the traffic signal to get over, or should it just cross it? Right? What would you do in that situation? Like, what do you think is the best course of action? So these are the kind of questions that will be asked to you in different fonts, right? So when questions get repeated, and if you try to think of the perfect answer, you may sort of compromise your own thinking or your own values. And that is something that the university is not looking for, right? Attempt it individually. Do not discuss it with your friends when you're attempting it, and do not ask them what they're choosing. Just answer honestly, and we can always discuss it later. So should I share the test with you?
Right. You can share with me, and I'll be sharing in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, sure.
Also, I think some students have some query related to that whether we'll be getting a sufficient time. So I think 30-minute time
Right,
is
right.
something which you get. So I think that's sufficient here to complete the exam.
That's sufficient, sir. There will be 75 questions,
Okay.
and they will be mostly strongly agree, strongly disagree, those kind of
Mhm.
questions. So you won't have to like read too much or require too much time for that process, right? 75 questions are easily answerable in 30 minutes. That can be done.
I agree. And what's about they can give from their device like they will need laptop or they can give from their phone as well.
Laptop is preferable because it will be easier for them to read,
Right.
and it will be easier for them to attempt the test. But if they have a mobile phone, that is not a problem either.
Perfect. That
You
works.
you gotta have a laptop when you're attempting the group discussion, but I think psychometric tests can be done using your mobiles as well.
Perfect. So also it's like when we see a oral test, so it's divided in two parts. First is like they will
It's
ask you the
divided in two parts, sir.
single liner question will be there, and then they'll be giving a situation based question.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that is something that I have kept in mind while I was preparing the mock test as well. There are 10 questions which are based on strongly disagree, those kind of questions. And there are 10 questions which are based on situations. So if the students will just go through that test once, they will get a rough idea of what they can expect.
Right. Okay. So I'll just share that the same thing in the group with them. Okay. So I think we can share that in the group and we can discuss with the student right now as well. If we move question by question, so it will
Sure, sir.
give.
That's what I intended to do.
We can just share the. If you can just share a screen, I believe that will help.
Sure, sir. I'll share the screen right now.
Okay. All right, guys. So I shared it in a
Can
WhatsApp
you
group. If we can,
you
yeah.
see the
If we,
screen? I have shared my screen as well. If you can see it,
I don't think that your
I'm
screen is visible
sharing it
right
right
now.
now.
Okay, let me just check. राइट। ऑल्सो वन मोर थिंग, जैसे प्रीवियस ईयर कई सारे बच्चों ने पूछा क्या साइकोमेट टेस्ट विल बी अ टेस्ट जिसके बेसिस पे आगे के सिलेक्शन डिपेंड होंगे। प्रीवियस 5 ईयर, बिकॉज इट विल बी द 6th ईयर, जब आप इस पर्टिकुलर कोर्स को देख रहे हैं, प्रीवियस 5 ईयर का जो सिस्टमेटिक अगर हम ट्रेंड देखें वो ऐसा रहा है कि सबसे
Yes.
पहले दे टेक द ग्रुप डिस्कशन। इन ग्रुप डिस्कशन के बेसिस पे आप डिसीजन ले सकते हैं, बिकॉज 20 मिनट्स का ग्रुप डिस्कशन
Right.
होता है, इंट्रोडक्शन होता है, एंड देन आपका कंक्लूजन होता है। सो इट्स अ सफिशिएंट टाइम। जब पैनलिस्ट आपको देखते हैं, दे ऑब्जर्व यू, हाउ यू स्पीक, हाउ यू रिएक्ट एंड योर इन्फॉर्मेशन एंड ऑल, उसके बेसिस पे देन उसके बाद जाके आपका सिलेक्शन होता है। और प्रीवियस ईयर ये था कि सारे बच्चे ग्रुप
Right.
डिस्कशन देते थे, उन सारे बच्चों में से 400
Hmm.
बच्चों में से देन दे यूज्ड टू गो फॉर द साइकोमेट टेस्ट एंड देन द इंटरव्यू। साइकोमेट टेस्ट और
Yes.
इंटरव्यू सारे बच्चे देते थे जो जीडी क्लियर कर लेते थे। बट दिस
Right.
ईयर आई डोंट थिंक इट लॉजिकल टू जज स्टूडेंट ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ साइकोमेट टेस्ट। यहाँ पे अगर
हाँ.
वो 422 बच्चों से 200 सेलेक्ट कर लेते हैं ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ साइकोमेट टेस्ट, थोड़ा सरप्राइजिंग होगा। बट लेट्स सी, मेरा
हाँ.
ही मानना है कि जीडी एंड साइकोमेट टेस्ट वो सारे बच्चों का लेंगे पहला,
Hmm.
एंड देन इंटरव्यू के लिए दोनों के बाद दे कैन सेलेक्ट। ये है। व्हाट डू
Uh,
यू थिंक?
I think
बिकॉज है ना, ऐसे ही होना चाहिए मेरे ख्याल से सिया।
yeah, and सर साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट यूजुअली वो शुरू में ले लें या बाद में ले लें, आई थिंक जितने बच्चे साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट अटेम्प्ट करते हैं उनका निकल ही जाता है,
एग्री।
बिकॉज क्योंकि उसमें तो कोई मॉडल आंसर शीट है नहीं जो लेके टैली करेंगे कि किस बच्चे ने क्या आंसर दिया हुआ है।
और
तो
इस बार का जो शेड्यूल है ना सिया, उसमें तो ये लिखा हुआ है कि हम साइकोमेट टेस्ट के बाद कुछ बच्चों को रिजेक्ट करेंगे, राइट?
ये
And then some student will go to the GD and all. So maybe that will change in the upcoming notification. That's what I'm expecting.
हाँ, बिकॉज दैट वुड ऑनेस्टली नॉट बी राइट टू सिलेक्ट देम ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट इटसेल्फ, क्योंकि अब आप बोल रहे हो
Agree.
कि पर्सनालिटी बेस्ड टेस्ट है तो आप किसी की पर्सनालिटी कैसे ही रिजेक्ट कर रहे हो फिर।
राइट, मेक सेंस। और ये भी है ना, सी 10 o'clock पे ये टेस्ट, सी मेनली ये जो 30 मिनट्स का टेस्ट होता है, एक विंडो
हम्म.
आपके पास होगी 10 o'clock से लेके 1 o'clock के बीच में, 3 घंटे टेस्ट
हम्म.
अवेलेबल होता है। एग्जाम्पल के लिए
हम्म.
23rd या 24 जो भी डेट होगी, तो 10 o'clock से 1 o'clock तक आप कभी भी दे सकते हैं। तो ऑब्वियसली ये जो
Right.
ग्रुप हमारा कॉमन ग्रुप है, तो जैसे जैसे बच्चे टेस्ट देते जाते हैं सारे क्वेश्चंस ग्रुप पे अवेलेबल हो जाते हैं, right?
हाँ.
I will be there, Sia will be there, तो we'll keep discussing those questions as well with you जो आप सबमिट कर
Yes.
रहे होंगे। तो वी वांट कि आप सबके अच्छे से सबमिट हो। ओके, सो
Right.
कैन यू शेयर स्क्रीन राइट नाउ शिया? गाइस, हमने
हाँ,
ग्रुप
I
पे
can share
क्वेश्चंस शेयर किए हैं,
this
होपफुली आप
page.
सबने उन क्वेश्चन से गो थ्रू किया होगा। ओके, लेट मी जस्ट,
I think सर आपका lag हो रहा है, मेरा lag हो रहा है, मुझे समझ नेटवर्क इशू है।
आई थिंक मेरे एंड से तो आई थिंक नेटवर्क ठीक है, आपके एंड से थोड़ा सा लैग करता है बीच में, बट या नाउ इट्स परफेक्ट।
But there's a network issue, sir. I think it's on my end.
Now it's solved. I think we can hear you now, Shia.
I am trying the screen.
Okay. I think just let's confirm, guys. You all have attended the test, and then only we can start discussing that. You can first attend that. अभी आप attend कर सकते हैं उसको. We'll give you 5 more minutes, and then we can start.
You can take 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
5 more minutes to attend the test.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Sir, actually, I have one doubt.
Yeah, sure.
How to prepare for the psychometry test?
Okay, so that's what we are discussing right now. We'll be discussing this session. So as we have also shared a detailed voice note in a group, कि in what format this test will be there and कितना time आपको मिलेगा and how you have to approach for this particular test. So it will be a kind of a personality test, knowing कि how you will be acting in a certain situation. Okay, so that's how I think हमने कुछ sample आपको questions भी share किए हैं. एक link हम आपको भेज दे रहे हैं. एक बार जब उसमें questions देखेंगे ना, you will understand कि what kind of questions will be there and you'll be having an option with you. So it's not like a GK. It's not कि चार में से सिर्फ एक ही ऑप्शन करेक्ट होगा. Is something what you feel strongly about that particular question. If question is that are you introvert? Okay. Do you like to work with a team? Okay. Do you think you're a team person? तो इसका हर एक डिफरेंट आंसर हो सकता है, राइट. एंड सो दिस इज हाउ आई थिंक हमने एक सेट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस आपके साथ, एक तो जो क्वेश्चन पूछे जाते हैं वो हमने शेयर किए हैं ग्रुप पे, और जो सिया ने प्रिपेयर करे हैं आप उसको एक बार देखिएगा, है ना. हाँ सिया, आई थिंक आपके उस पे जिन जो बच्चे सबमिट करते जा रहे हैं वो एक नंबर भी रिफ्लेक्ट हो रहा होगा. तो आई थिंक इन in a session close to 20 students are there. If sufficient number
Actually,
of students submitted, we'll start discussing.
जो psychometry test, it is online or offline?
It's online. आपका जीडी और साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट ऑनलाइन है और घर से ही है. आपके पास पोर्टल पे ऑप्शन आ जाएगा टू अटेंड दैट टेस्ट. जो भी होगा वो
Okay,
हम अपडेट
means
करते जाएंगे. हाँ.
only PI will be online, correct, sir?
हाँ, जब आप पीआई के लिए सिलेक्ट होंगे, उसके लिए सारे बच्चे सिलेक्ट नहीं होंगे, लिमिटेड बच्चे ही पीआई के लिए जाएंगे. दैट विल बी ऑफलाइन.
सर, अभी जो कैटेगरी वाइज रिजर्वेशन है, SC ST, हाँ, उसके हिसाब से सीट अलॉटमेंट होगा ना?
हाँ, उसके हिसाब से होगा. इट्स समथिंग एग्जांपल के लिए, अगर एससी कैटेगरी एग्जांपल के लिए उसमें 30 बच्चे सिलेक्ट करे हैं उन्होंने, तो उन पर सीट्स होंगी 5. तो उन 30 एससी कैटेगरी वाले बच्चों में आपको इतना अच्छा करना पड़ेगा कि आप टॉप 5 टॉप 7 में आ जाएं. देन ओनली यू विल गेट दैट सिलेक्शन. Got it? What I'm trying to say.
Yes, sir, I have been got it right now.
Perfect.
Okay, sir.
So did you receive the link जो मैंने अभी भेजी है आपको साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट की?
Yes, sir, I will check it right now.
हाँ, एक बार चेक कर
Give me
लीजिए.
1 second, sir.
हाँ श्योर, उसको
हाँ
चेक करिए. आई थिंक
sir,
इट विल
okay.
हार्डली टेक 5 मिनट्स. आप सब उसको अटेंड कर सकते हैं एंड देन विल बी डिस्कसिंग द क्वेश्चंस वन बाय वन.
Sir,
हाँ जी.
sir, I've been asking that how the test to be conducted in two parts, as you're saying like previously that the test is two parts itself.
नॉट अ टू पार्ट. इज समथिंग 30 मिनट्स का टेस्ट होता है. शुरुआत का जो 15 मिनट्स आपके पास होते हैं उसमें बस सिंगल लाइनर क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, है ना. बहुत सिंगल लाइनर क्वेश्चन. उसके बाद जैसे ही वो 15 मिनट्स होते हैं तो फिर आपके पास थोड़े से पैसेज बेस्ड या थोड़ा से कुछ सिचुएशन बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. जैसे एक एम्बुलेंस वाला इन्होंने एग्जांपल दिया था सिया ने, वो हो गया. सिग्नल वाला हो गया. तो यू हैव टू रीड देयर. ओके. और आप उसमें फिर कैसे एक्ट करेंगे वो होता तो एक ही पार्ट में है, मतलब 30 मिनट स्ट्रेच में ही होगा, बट अलग अलग टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, आप ये मानकर चलिए.
Okay, sir. Sir, I've attempted the test, but I think it is more of opinion based rather than
राइट.
the fixed answer.
एग्री. ऐसे ही होता है. इट्स जस्ट ओपिनियन बेस्ड थिंग. और जीडी में लास्ट 5-6 ईयर से मैं ये ऑब्जर्व कर रहा हूँ, जब ग्रुप डिस्कशन होता है तो वहां पर मेरे काफी सारे बच्चों ने बताया कि सर जो पैनल मेंबर्स होते हैं इसमें एक साइकोमेट्रिक्स भी होता है जो वहां बैठता है. और जब आप इंटरव्यू में भी जाते हैं, दैट पर्सन विल नॉट आस्क यू एनीथिंग. दैट पर्सन नॉट इवन स्पीक एनीथिंग. जब सिया ने भी इंटरव्यू दिया होगा ना, दे जस्ट ऑब्जर्व यू एंड देन दे गिव यू मार्क्स. कई बार क्या होता है, आप फियरफुल हो जाते हैं. कई बार जब ग्रुप डिस्कशन होता है तो आप एग्रेसिव हो जाते हैं. बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं, है ना. कई बार होता है आप किसी को अलाउ ही नहीं करते. सिया विल एग्री कि कई सारे पैनल्स लास्ट में ऐसे थे जिसमें कुछ बच्चे किसी को बोलने ही नहीं दे रहे थे, यू नो. दे लाइक आई विल ट्राई टू पुट अप माय पॉइंट. तो बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं, बट हमें कोई भी चीज हमेशा मॉडरेशन में करनी
And
पड़ती है.
even that is bad.
हम्म.
And even that is bad because आप GD में they're basically assessing कि आप लोगों को साथ लेके चल सकते हो या नहीं. तो if you're just trying
Right.
to put your point forward or फिर not giving the other person chance, so you lose marks there as well.
एग्री.
There are only 5 responses on the form so far, sir. So,
Okay, so let's
should we
guys
start discussing or should we give more time?
give them 2 more minutes, guys. I think Aviraj, Aditi, just confirm chat box. We can confirm कि yes, I have completed the test. Because हम एक sufficient number हो, at least वो discussion हम फिर start कर पाएंगे. जिनका होता जा रहा है, please confirm in the chat box that I have completed. Okay, so Samad
Sir,
has
actually,
completed. हाँ, okay,
आप क्यों बोल
perfect. Aviraj has completed done through. Okay, आपके पास response कम आए क्या? यहाँ पे तो बहुत सारे response हैं, सिया.
Sir,
हाँ, तो
अभी
उसको
11 responses हैं.
okay, perfect. I think in a session we have 1, 2, 3, 5. We have 22 students, I think, है ना? So 15 will be a good number.
So we have received 11 responses.
Okay, remaining will be, I think,
Should
completing.
I share the
Yeah, now you can
response?
start the discussion. Yeah, you can start.
Share the responses on screen.
So I think you can just share the screen and you can start discussing what would be the answer. So they'll match it.
sir, I have actually one doubt.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, psychometry test is how many hours or how many minutes it's to take?
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Right.
Okay, sir. Actually, we will receive the mail from Nagpur.
So can you share?
Symbiosis will share MNLU Nagpur will share an email with you and उसके बेसिस पे ही आपको टेस्ट देना होगा. एक शेड्यूल आ जाएगा, लिंक आ जाएगी, सारी चीजें आ जाएंगी. बाकी हम सारा कुछ ग्रुप पे भी शेयर करते जाएंगे, ठीक है?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, we can start, Sia.
Right. So I have shared the screen. If you guys can see, please confirm.
We can see.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, we all can see.
Okay. So the first question was, I enjoy taking responsibility working in a group, and you said strongly agree. Now, since I would usually ask you to like go with what your instinct is saying and what your personality is saying, but ab sir ne bola hai that they will actually shortlist, so I would prefer you guys to pick a safer answer. Like I would
Right.
not want for you to like get disqualified in the first round itself. So smart work karte hue pick an answer that's a bit safe. So अगर आपको थोड़ा सा भी portray करना पड़ रहा है and if it's conflicting even a little bit, so do it. If it's benefiting you, then why not, right? So try to pick the safer answer. And when we were preparing, तो हमें तो बोलते थे that think like a judge when you're answering these questions as well. So you may also use that if nothing comes to mind. The next question was, I remain calm when I'm faced with unexpected challenges. And different people have varying answers. Right? You can see these are the questions, the top 10 questions that about whether you agree or disagree. So I find it easy to understand the perspectives agree with me. These type of questions, for example, this question, I find it easy to understand the perspectives of people who disagree with me. So if you're saying that you agree, what sort of you put forth as a person who's ready to accept other people's opinion. But when you say that you strongly disagree with it, then that will sort of put you in the eyes of the other person as, okay, he's not willing to agree with me, so is he really a team player? That sort of also comes in. So, first question is, I prefer making decisions based on facts.
Sir, voice is not clear.
Questions voice is not clear.
Right.
Your
बीच में
voice is a
voice
bit
break.
distorted.
It's breaking, I think, बीच में.
I'll leave and join the meeting again. There's a network issue, I think.
Now we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think, Sia, there's some network issue. I think you can rejoin now, you know. So I think that will help.
Excuse me, sir. In the meantime, can we discuss Single?
Sure, sure, sure. You can ask all your query, and I meanwhile, Sia joining.
Yeah, actually, sir, let's take the example of the first question itself, which was that do I enjoy taking group study or something like that, whatever it was. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I mark the answer agree because I think so. Too many people may cause to chaos or the team itself may not suit my personality or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe they are also disqualifying candidates on the psychometric itself. So
Right.
should I avoid the very, what do we call it, extreme answers?
Right.
Should I?
All
Yeah.
right. Agree. Always avoid the extreme answers. Okay. Because see, जब आपसे ये ग्रुप वाले क्वेश्चन पूछे जाते हैं वो इसलिए भी पूछे जाते हैं जब आप जुडिशरी को देखते हैं वहां पे काफी कहते हैं 2 जजेस बेंच 3 जजेस बेंच 5 जजेस बेंच
Yes,
तो
sir.
मतलब आप जब किसी केस को अगले 6 मंथ 7 मंथ 1 ईयर एक साथ सुनेंगे तो कुछ तो कोऑर्डिनेशन होना चाहिए आपका पहली बात
Mhm.
है ना सो दैट्स इंपॉर्टेंट तो इसलिए आई थिंक जहां जहां वो क्वेश्चन आए यू से कि यस आई एम अ पर्सन हु यू शुड वर्क विद पीपल यू नो दैट्स व्हाट यू कैन से
And so, if it's only a personality based test, let for example, I marked agree. There will be some people who will mark strongly agree or strongly disagree. Neutral. Every type of answers will be there. So how are they gonna judge me on that thing only if they're disqualifying only on the psychometric itself?
See, in previous years, they were not disqualifying anyone on the basis of psychometrics, you know.
Okay, okay.
So how they will be doing it's I would be it would be very random, you know. तो या तो फिर उन्होंने कुछ कुछ मार्क्स सेट करे होंगे कि क्या होता है ना कि देखिए हमेशा एक चीज ध्यान रखिए मैं हमेशा इंटरव्यूज में एक चीज कहता हूँ जब इंटरव्यूअर कोई कोई चीज क्वेश्चन आपसे पूछता है तो उसके माइंड में एक सेट ऑफ आंसर ऑलरेडी रेडी रहता है जैसा थंब रूल उनको पता होता है कि यू नो व्हाट आंसर देखो आंसर कुछ भी हो सकता है बट समथिंग व्हाट आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग तो व्हाट मोस्ट एक्सपेक्टेड जो आंसर्स हो सकते हैं उन्हीं को चूज करिए दैट्स व्हाट विल बी सजेस्टिंग यू सी सेव करना है हमें सेव खेलना है दैट्स व्हाट वी कैन से
Okay, okay, okay. Got you, got you. Okay,
ओके
sir, thank you.
या नाउ सिया है जॉइंड आई थिंक नेटवर्क इशू इज सॉर्टेड और थोड़ा ये नागपुर वालों का अलग ही होता है अभी लास्ट ईयर मुझे याद है उन्होंने 15 से 20 दिन इंटरव्यूज डिले करे थे क्यों करे थे क्योंकि वो हाई कोर्ट जजेस को बुलाते हैं इंटरव्यूज लेने के लिए अब हाई कोर्ट जजेस का टाइम मिलना इतना आसान तो होता नहीं है छुट्टी पर होते हैं अभी जो ये मंथ्स होते हैं छुट्टी वाले मंथ्स होते हैं तो बहुत कम जजेस अवेलेबल होते हैं तो वैसा है बट मुझे मुझे लाइक आई एम स्टिल आई एम वेरी श्योर आई विल सेंड अ ईमेल टू देम आई नो पीपल देयर इन नागपुर आई टॉक टू देम एंड से कि क्योंकि सिलेक्शन प्रोसेस बड़ा अजीब हो जाएगा ना हमें क्वालिटी स्टूडेंट्स मिल ही नहीं पाएंगे जीडी में समझ आ जाता है कौन बच्चा बोल पा रहा है कौन नहीं बोल पा रहा पर सर्कमेंट टेस्ट पे तो सिलेक्शन नहीं हो सकता और नॉट जस्ट दिस एग्जाम इंडिया में जहां जहां साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट होते हैं वहां वो क्वालिफाइंग नहीं होता है मतलब साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट के बेसिस बस पे डिसीजन नहीं आता है साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट के कुछ मार्क्स हो सकते हैं जीडी के कुछ मार्क्स हो सकते हैं इंटरव्यू के कुछ मार्क्स हो सकते हैं इन तीनों को हम एवरेज करेंगे देन विल गिव द फाइनल लिस्ट दैट्स हाउ यू गेट अ मार्क्स बट सेकंड टेस्ट के बेसिस अकेले पे कैसा होगा थोड़ा वो तो मेरा सजेशन यही है कोई भी एक्सट्रीम ओपिनियन मत लीजिएगा है ना ऑलवेज टेक अ मॉडरेट जो जजेस करते हैं कभी वो एक्सट्रीम कहाँ लेते हैं अभी तक की हिस्ट्री में कितने एक्सट्रीम जजमेंट्स हमने देखे नॉट रियली राइट बिकॉज they have to operate or cooperate with the other two part of the bureaucracy and the legislative that's what we know yeah Sia can you hear me
Yes, am I audible now?
now you're perfectly audible
Yeah, I'll keep my video off because I think वो उसकी वजह से
makes
थोड़ा
sense
network हो रहा था. Right. So, should I share my screen or
yeah
do I
please
not?
share
Okay,
please share
okay, sure.
Hello, sir, am I audible? Hello.
I need you guys to confirm if you can see my screen right now.
So your screen is visible and your voice is audible. Very clear.
All right. So let's discuss this assessment now. Now, obviously, I'm not going to tell you which answer was right and which answer was wrong because that would kind of defeat the purpose of this entire test, right? So instead, let us focus on the questions that we're actually trying to assess. Now, most of these questions that you saw in this test, they were obviously not testing your knowledge, right? They were testing your personality traits. For example, the questions that I've put in, which are relating to teamwork, they are assessing how you collaborate, how you communicate, what sense of responsibility do you have, and what leadership skills do you possess, right? Now, questions which were related to conflict, they will assess what your emotional intelligence level is, how patient are you, what are your problem solving abilities. Because when you become a judicial officer, when you go on to become a judge or a judicial officer later on in life, these will be the characteristics that you will have to play on yourself, right? So the university is actually trying to assess from the get go that can you actually play to the strengths of a judge and can you actually think like a judge, right? So while you have to balance your individuality, you also have to sort of figure out that how can you also sound like a judge and act like a judge, right? It's always all about balance. So go for the neutral answer, go for the answer that is neutral but it also seems true to you, right? Questions will also involve very difficult choices, and then they will assess how do you make decisions in a situation where you have to act immediately. How do you act in that situation? How do you prioritize? Let's say that there was a question that was put in that you have two assignments due and you can only complete one properly. So how are you gonna approach the second assessment? So that is where your decision making comes in. That is where your prioritization comes in. You may think that okay, this particular assignment has more credit than the other one, so I'm going to finish this and I'm going to focus on this more. So that also sort of reflects your decision making ability, right? Questions which involved rules and fairness in difficult situations. Let's say that there was this one question which said that your friends have violated a rule, a really close friend of yours has violated a rule. What do you do in that situation? Do you reprimand him or do you support him, or do you sort of just let it happen? That also assesses that how you will act in a situation where you decided, when you put in where you have to decide something, right? So these are the kind of questions that were there. If you guys had any difficulty in trying to understand these questions or anything, please let me know right now.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Didi, I want to ask the question that if everyone is answering the same options, then how will they
Right.
evaluate? Like you're sharing the screen, and I've seen that two questions have 100% same answer. Then how will they
Right.
evaluate on the basis of that answers?
Right. So the trend that we have seen in the past years is that usually everybody makes through the psychometric test, and that is what I was telling sir as well. That answers will, be very similar because obviously students pick the safest answer, right? So a lot of people are going to go with the same answer, but then usually everybody makes through. I don't know how are they going to assess it this year, and what's going to be different. But then again, you do your part and you make sure that you're choosing the answer which is the safest.
Okay, and
If
I
sir
have
has
one
an insight, yeah.
like you said that you need to play safe in this. But suppose a safe answer contradicts my personality. So do I choose the answer that answers my personality or do I choose the safe answer?
Okay, I think that you should go with the answer that is the safest. Now, I know that I do emphasize a lot on your personality trait and what feels true to you. But let's say that there is a question. Let's take this
If
decision,
I
this question, right? Let's
Didi, if
take
I
this
may,
question, right? Yeah, go
that
ahead.
one question one question was there that if there are two assignments and deadline are the same, then which assignment would you prefer more? So
Right.
there were two options, that one that has more credit and one that interests me more. For me personally, I would do the assignment that interests me more. But then again,
Right.
the safe answer would be that the one that has more credit. So how do I answer questions in this situation?
Okay, so that is a very subjective sort of a situation, right? Now, this particular question, I think you can go with what your personality is asking you to do, right? Because they cannot really reject you on the basis of whether you choose the credit wala option or the option that what interests you more. You can choose what goes with your personality in this scenario, but when you're faced with a question like I enjoy taking responsibility when working in a group, and when in questions like these you say I strongly disagree कि भाई मुझे तो responsibility लेनी ही नहीं है, so that puts you in a spot, right? तो उस time पे भी you have to be smart enough to analyze what question you can play, you should play safe, and what question you can answer according to your personality. That will also depend entirely on the candidate. यू हैव टू फिगर आउट कि मैं किस क्वेश्चन पे सेफ प्ले करना चाहिए मुझे और किस क्वेश्चन पे मुझे अपनी पर्सनालिटी के साथ जाना चाहिए. एंड आई गिव यू एन एग्जांपल. आई होप दैट क्लियर योर डाउट.
Okay, Didi, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have one doubt.
Yes.
So basically, I'm just confused between the options agree and strongly agree. Because if we choose strongly agree, it will goes for the extreme answers.
Right.
And so what we have to do, like we have to choose the extreme answers, or do we have to just go with the agree option? Because it will be safest for us to option agree. But I think this answer would be strongly agree, because if you're taking the responsibility, it shows the quality that you're able to be evaluate other person's personality based on this. What I believe.
Right. Right. Now, as I said again, questions are subjective, and you will have to figure out that what do you think in this situation कि अगर ये ऐसा question है that I take responsibility and you say strongly agree, that obviously portrays you as a person who's ready to take responsibility. So you can strongly agree to a question like that, right? But if you have a different question, let's say that I remain calm when faced with unexpected challenges, you can agree or you can strongly agree to that as well. In questions में you can go with the extreme answer as long as you're saying that you agree. अब अगर आप strongly I would not suggest you to ever go with strongly disagree, because वो बहुत extreme हो जाएगा. The safest option again is agree, but if you think that you can go with a strongly agree in some question, then go ahead. It's not that deep, honestly. You can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other doubts?
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Henry, please.
Uh, Ma'am, do evaluators have our answers of psychometric test?
Sorry, I could not understand what you're saying. Can you please go again? You can also write your queries in the chat box if you can't unmute and speak right now.
There's one more query. Yes, yeah. So there's one, they give you the situation-based question, which will
Yes.
be about that you're getting late for the exam and there's a, red light. So what he had answered, like, what do you say? How to answer that?
So I think options देख के I would rather look at the options first before I have to answer. But then again, you should give an answer that follows the rules, because let's say that there is an option which says surpass the traffic light, there's an option which says stay behind, and there is another option which says that stay for the traffic light but take the shorter route towards the institution. So
Right,
I
right.
would go with the third answer, which says कि मैं rules तो मानूंगी, I will stay back, I will respect the traffic rules, but
Mhm.
then I will also not be in a situation जहाँ पे मुझे laws bear करना पड़े, and I will
Right.
take the shorter route to the institution. So that is how
Because
you want to
right.
approach.
Because as a judge or when you enter the judiciary, you uphold the law. You're not somebody
Right,
to break the law. That makes a lot of
right,
sense. Second thing, if the situation is that you are carrying somebody who is injured by the accident, and now
right.
there's a red light, so what you'll do in a such case?
So, in a scenario like this, I would suggest that you can, because ambulances usually have an exception, and also people who are carrying somebody who's
Agreed.
injured, I think you can surpass the rules, because
Right.
that's when you got to put the greater good,
Right.
uh, uphold the greater good in that
But
situation.
if you see, there can be a argument for that. See, why we have a traffic light. Okay,
Right,
when we say why we have traffics and all. So, for
right,
example, if I'm like obviously when there's an intersection, there are four roads are going from a signal. Okay, so in such case, if I'm breaking the red light, it's not just a violation of law. I can cause bigger or more danger to the other people as well. Others are following the law. If I'm just
right,
breaking the line, something I might have an accident with others as well. In saving a
right,
one person, I can cost like life of five more. So that's
right,
also
right,
contradictory there. See, if you have to contradict anything, you can. That's something I'm saying. Okay. So I
right,
say just see the most appropriate. I always say see the most appropriate option available there. That make a lot of sense.
right.
Hmm.
Yeah,
तो I
and
think
choose,
आपको
and honestly, हाँ, और options ऐसे भी नहीं रहेंगे that will put you in इतना ज़्यादा spot कि you have to like choose
true.
एकदम varying answers. You will be given options which will, have a middle ground.
Right. और
Right.
मेरा अभी जितने बच्चों ने बोला मुझे आज तक तो किसी बच्चे का एक तो किसी ने अभी तक नहीं बोला कि डिफिकल्ट था बहुत
हाँ,
डुएबल
हाँ,
होता है बहुत डुएबल होता है इवन सिया के पूरे बैच को लास्ट ईयर जो सिलेक्ट हुए थे बच्चे मैंने उन सबको टेक्स्ट करा था आज बिकॉज ये सारे
right,
हमारे ग्रुप पर थे तो आई गेस टेक्स्टेड एवरीवन आस्किंग देम कि हाउ वाज साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट और इफ दे रिमेंबर
right.
सम क्वेश्चन तो वो क्वेश्चन भी मैंने उनसे मांगे हुए थे एवरीबडी सेड कि सर इट्स वेरी बेसिक इट्स वेरी नॉर्मल है ना पर वो था कि यहाँ पे एक चीज बस है कि इनके केस में ये डिसाइडिंग फैक्टर नहीं था बट
Hmm.
इन दिस पर्टिकुलर केस हो सकता है हम साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट के बेसिस पे या बाहर हो जाएं या सिलेक्ट हो जाएं सो दैट विल मेक सेंस सो व्हाट वी कैन डू सिया आई रिक्वेस्ट यू
Right.
टू मेक मोर टेस्ट लाइक दिस ओके अभी हमारे
Yes,
पास
yes.
2-3 days हैं we can
हाँ,
create
हाँ.
more because इसमें why we need more tests from you reason is that we have been through the test we have seen
Right.
it okay because जब भी बच्चे गूगल पे जाएंगे they'll write psychometric test they'll get such random test right कई
True.
बार साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट इवन टीसीएस के इंटरव्यू में भी होता है जो
Right, right,
जॉब
right.
के लिए होता है उनका बहुत अलग होता है वहां पे वन
हाँ,
स्टूडेंट सेंट मी कि सर मैं एक साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट कर रहा था 30 marks का था
हाँ, हाँ.
आई गॉट 4 marks मैंने कहा एंड देन ही वाज सो वरीड ही कॉल्ड मी 5 times मैंने कहा
Yeah.
देन आई आस्क्ड हिम सेंड मी अ टेस्ट I tried to solve it.
Hmm.
I got 3 marks. Okay. So it was like maths
Right.
questions. Okay. There were maths question, analytical questions, lot of random questions were there. Some GK question were there as well. तो वैसे नहीं
हाँ.
होता है. तो एक तो मैं मानता हूँ ये जो नॉर्मल कोर्स होता है ना 5 years लॉ का तो नागपुर वालों ने एक अलग कोर्स कार्व आउट कराया उस पूरी प्रोसेस में से एंड नाउ उन्होंने पूरी प्रोसेस भी अलग
Hmm.
से रखी है कहीं भी किसी भी लॉ एंट्रेंस में किसी भी लॉ
हाँ.
कॉलेज के एडमिशन में जीडी नहीं है देयर इज नो ग्रुप डिस्कशन बट
There's no group discussion. True.
बट दीज पीपल वांट टू हैव अ ग्रुप डिस्कशन और कहीं पर भी जजेस इंटरव्यू नहीं ले रहे हैं ठीक है
Hmm.
नॉर्मल जो फैकल्टीज होते हैं टीचर होते हैं दे आर टेकिंग द इंटरव्यूज इन सिम्बोसिस एज वेल इन सिम्बोसिस पुणे एज वेल बट हियर जजेस विल बी टेकिंग द इंटरव्यू ठीक है मेक सेंस थोड़ा डिफरेंट है बट तो आई बिलीव कि you can make more and more tests which will help them okay
Sure.
guys so we have
Definitely.
5 more minutes for this session so you guys can come up with your queries also after this we have a session again at 8:15 because as I said psychometric test is all about perspective okay how you
Right.
think about that particular test or how you think about that particular question. So we have, in the last 1 hour, we got to know what Sia think about this particular test and how Sia has gone through the test. Now we'll be having Shayant. Shayant is like 1 year senior to Sia. He was in
Yes.
2024. He was in the MNLU Nagpur ka batch with us, and he was rank 1. previous year. So जब Shayant has taken the interview of CI and other student as well. Okay, so it's a cycle which we repeat every year. Okay, so Shayant will be here at 8:15, and again आप इसको leave करके you can have your dinner and all, and then you can again come back at 8:15, and then we'll reschedule and we'll have a discussion on how to approach this particular test, because हमारे पास next 2-3 days हैं, we'll be discussing about the psychometric test only. Okay. Okay, so आपके next we have 5 minutes more, so you can ask all your queries here.
Excuse me, sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Let's take the example of the question of the ambulance, and they let's suppose they ask me the question that if I were an ambulance driver and I have a patient in my back which requires dire state of medical attention, and and I'm at a red light, and you know that the 4-lane merge at one point in the red light, and you said that I should also consider the further repercussions that I might crash into someone else or someone else.
Right.
According to me, or according to maybe, the options will be appropriate. They will not be too extreme, like strongly disagree
Right.
or strongly agree. They would be like that I should see the traffic ahead first, or the intensity of the or my speed first. But
Yeah.
if we suppose that they gave me an options like agree, strongly disagree, that I will jump the light. Okay, so that's the question. And they gave me options like agree, strongly disagree, neutral. So I'm in a big conundrum right then. No, because I can't. They are expecting me to jump the light because I have a patient at the back, but also they're expecting me to consider the further repercussions. So how I'm supposed to answer that?
Now, Sia, you want to answer? So, okay, I think Sia network. Okay, so mainly the main objective जैसे law जैसे run होता है, law जिस तरह से govern होता है, never cause a bigger harm. In something says कि ऐसा ना हो कि हम एक cause के लिए, and saving a life of a one person is obviously necessary, but हम उसको save करने के लिए हम कोई बड़ा harm ना कर बैठे. तो वहाँ पे एक option ये भी होगा that I'll pass my vehicle, I'll slow down my vehicle and then pass it so that I do not affect others person as well, and then I'll save the life. It's something दोनों के बीच में moderation क्या होगा. ये दोनों extreme end ही हैं. लॉ को वायलेशन करना भी गलत होता है, किसी नेसेसिटी में किसी की मदद नहीं करना भी एक लाइक मॉरली तो गलत है. ठीक है, उसकी डेथ हो जाए यू कांट हेल्प, बट मॉरली गलत होता है. तो कहीं मॉडरेशन वाला जो ऑप्शन होगा ना, जो आपको सही लगे कि हाँ आई स्लो डाउन माय कार, मैं स्लो डाउन करके मैं क्रॉस भी करूंगा, बट आई जस्ट कीप आई की दैट व्हाई दैट्स हाउ द मॉडरेशन ऑप्शन यू हैव टू चूज.
So basically, I should, in this situation, I should go with the option which will say that I should scrutinize the situation first and then I
एग्री
should proceed,
एग्री,
right?
यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. और आप कितना क्विकली एनालाइज कर पाते हैं उस चीज को, क्योंकि इतना टाइम भी नहीं है ना. अगर इतना
Yeah,
सोचने
yeah,
का टाइम हो
that's
तो उतने में तो सिग्नल ही खुल जाएगा. समझ रहे हो आप?
yeah,
तो
yeah.
दैट्स हाउ
Got
इट
it.
वर्क्स.
Okay, sir. Thank you for that.
Okay. Some students have asked about the group discussion. Okay, GD कैसे होता है, और मुझे तो ऐसा लग रहा है साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट के बाद. हाँ.
There were 2 more questions in the chat box.
Yeah, sure. There's one student asking.
So you were saying something?
Yeah, one student asking between neutral and agree, which is a better option to go for. Agree. See, यार देखो, एग्जाम्पल के लिए कोई भी, जब हम दो पार्टीज जज के सामने खड़े होते हैं, पेटिशनर को कोई प्रेजेंट कर रहा होगा, रिस्पोंडेंट के लिए भी कोई खड़ा होगा, जज कैन नॉट बी न्यूट्रल इन सच केस. Judge has to analyze the case, understand the fact, understand the law, and then has to pass a judgment in somebody's favor. कोई एक पेटिशनर के फेवर में होगा या इसके, मतलब एज अगर आपका वो नेचर हम चेक कर रहे हैं तो यू कैन नॉट से कि न्यूट्रल. जैसे लास्ट टाइम मुझे याद है एक बच्चे ने न्यूट्रल ही भरा था मेजोरिटी ऑप्शंस में. तो क्योंकि एक और चीज ध्यान रखिए, जो साइकोमेट टेस्ट में जो आप चीजें आंसर करते हैं और जब आप इंटरव्यू में पहुंच जाते हैं तो हर एक आंसर उनके जजेस के सामने रखा रहता है. आपके जो इंटरव्यूअर होंगे उनके सामने शीट रखी रहेगी. तो हमारे कुछ बच्चों से पुराने सालों में क्वेश्चन पूछे गए थे कि हाय आपने साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट में इस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन में यू चूज दिस ऑप्शन, व्हाई, आंसर इट, एक्सप्लेन इट। तो आप इसको लेके माइंडफुली रहना कि हम जब इसको आंसर कर रहे होंगे, देखिए सेकंड टेस्ट क्लियर करेंगे तभी आप जीडी में जाएंगे, जीडी के लगा के इंटरव्यू में जाएंगे, दैट्स द मेन एम। और मेजोरिटी बच्चे जो सेशन में देख रहे हैं वो सारे जाएंगे, दैट्स व्हाट कैन आई एश्योर यू, और विल प्रिपेयर यू इन सच अ वे। तो ये चीज ध्यान रखना कि जैसे आप साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट में आंसर करेंगे वो आपसे इंटरव्यू में पूछे भी जा सकते हैं। तो ट्राई टू, ये जो क्वेश्चन पूछा था न्यूट्रल और एग्री में, आई सजेस्ट यू टू गो विद एग्री वाला ऑप्शन, ठीक है। Could you summarize when to choose agree and strongly agree question? Depend on a cases, like कई बार होता ना कि डिपेंड ऑन जो आपके क्वेश्चंस होंगे उसके बेसिस पे ही आपको पढ़ के समझ आएगा। जैसे अभी हमने यहाँ पे बोला ना कि कई केसेस ऐसे होंगे जहाँ पे आपको मॉडरेट व्यू रखना पड़ेगा। तो व्हेन यू रीड द सिचुएशन यू यूज योर माइंड एंड अंडरस्टैंड कि अगर मैं यहाँ पे स्ट्रांगली एग्री करूंगा तो क्या ये मेरे अगेंस्ट तो नहीं जाएगा। दिस इज हाउ यू विल बी यूजिंग, ओके। एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? I think majority questions ko we have answered.
Sir, one more thing. So basically, I have to align with the answers which I've done in the psychometric in the group discussion also. Like, so I have to be the same person. I have to be the same personality in the group discussion as I was in the psychometric.
ग्रुप डिस्कशन और साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट का कोई रिलेशन नहीं होता है। बट जब इंटरव्यूज में आप जाते हैं, एग्जाम्पल के लिए आपसे अगर पूछा जाता है जजेस की क्वालिटीज क्या होती हैं, वहां पे यू से रीडिंग, जज की क्वालिटी में होता है कि रीडिंग शुड बी अ थिंग। बट ऐसा ना हो कि कहीं हम जब साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट में आपसे पूछ रहे हैं कि डू यू हैव अ हैबिट ऑफ रीडिंग, तो वहां पे आप नो बोल दो, या रीडिंग हेल्प इन बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग, वहां पे आप डिसएग्री बोल दो। समझ गए? तो आपको पूरी प्रोसेस में अलाइन रहना होता है, दैट्स इट। जीडी में तो आप कोई भी ओपिनियन ले सकते हो। जीडी का एग्जांपल के लिए लास्ट ईयर एक टॉपिक दिया हुआ था, अल्कोहल शुड बी बैंड अक्रॉस इंडिया, ओके। अब इसको लेके आपको ओपिनियन हो सकता है, तो वहां पे आप किसी भी साइड बोल सकते हैं। तो आपके साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट का जीडी में कोई इम्पैक्ट नहीं है, पर आपके साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट का इंटरव्यू में इम्पैक्ट जरूर रहेगा।
But you said, sir, that there will be a person in the group discussion also who will be silently judging me on the
Judging
basis of my
you,
psychometric.
like judging you on the basis of what you are saying, how you are saying, what you are putting, आप, क्योंकि आपको लग रहा है जीडी एग्जाम्पल के लिए इस सेशन में कितने बच्चे हैं, क्लोज टू 15 बच्चे होंगे, मोर देन 15। इतने ही बच्चे ग्रुप डिस्कशन में होते हैं और ऑनलाइन ही वो चीज हो रही है। एग्जाम्पल की मैं बोलना शुरू कर दूं, आप बोलना शुरू करें, सिया बोलना शुरू कर दें, मैसी हो जाएगा ना। और जीडी ऐसे ही होगा। हम कल या तो कल हम जब हम इवनिंग में करेंगे तो हम जीडी का प्रैक्टिस भी कर लेंगे हाफ एन आवर या 1 घंटे के लिए, और दैट्स व्हाट विल बी डूइंग, है ना। तो उस केस में आप देखेंगे कि एक मैं टॉपिक बोल रहा हूँ, आप सबसे मैंने कैसा फॉर्मेट होता है जीडी का। एग्जाम्पल के लिए मैंने आपको दिया कि अभी ये रिमेंबर ड्रेस कोड को लेके काफी न्यूज में था, काफी स्टेट में डिबेट्स हुए थे कि स्कूल में ड्रेस कोड मैंडेटरी होनी चाहिए, कॉलेज में ड्रेस कोड मैंडेटरी होनी चाहिए, नहीं होनी चाहिए। तो क्योंकि वो एक आइडेंटिटी होती है। एग्जाम्पल के लिए हम सब स्कूल्स में, मेजोरिटी में केवी में था, आप सभी जिन भी स्कूल्स में रहे होंगे, हम सब स्कूल्स में हम सब में ड्रेस कोड था, ठीक है। उसका एक सिंपल सा रीजन ये था कि यार जब बच्चे स्कूल में आए तो दे फील इक्वल। नहीं तो ये भी हो सकता है कोई बहुत रिच फैमिली से होगा, उनके कपड़ों की क्वालिटी बहुत डिफरेंट होगी, बहुत महंगे कपड़े होंगे, हो सकता है कोई नॉर्मल मिडिल क्लास के बच्चे होते कपड़े अफोर्ड ही ना कर पाए। तो वो सोचने समझ के की क्षमता या सोचने की जो कैपेबिलिटी वो क्या 9 ईयर या 10 ईयर वाले बच्चे में होगी? नहीं होगी। सो जब मैं इसके फेवर में बोल रहा हूँ कि हाँ सर ये नेसेसिटी है, राइट, ड्रेस कोड, तो ऐसे ही जब एक अगर ये ही आ जाए कि क्या कॉलेज में होना चाहिए, कॉलेज में वी कैन से कि सर नाउ एवरीबॉडी इज वेरी मच मैच्योर, दे अंडरस्टैंड कि व्हाट इज राइट व्हाट इज रॉन्ग, सो देयर शुड बी नो ड्रेस कोड। अब दिस इज हाउ वी डिस्कस। अब जब आप ड्रेस कोड को सपोर्ट कर रहे होंगे, इल से कि सर प्रोफेशन में भी तो ड्रेस कोड होता है। अगर आप बोल रहे हैं कॉलेज में ड्रेस कोड नहीं होना चाहिए, तो प्रोफेशन में तो और समझदार है। जब लॉयर ही बन गया है कोई, तो लॉयर से समझदार कौन होगा? फिर भी एक प्रोफेशन का ड्रेस कोड होता है। तो जब एक ग्रुप डिस्कशन हो रहा होगा, सिंपल सा है, एक टॉपिक आपको दिया है 3 से 4। एग्जाम्पल के लिए मैं एक आपको एक टॉपिक बोल दूं, वेदर एज ऑफ अ मैरिज। जैसे मैं लास्ट ईयर का अगर कुछ टॉपिक्स आपको बताऊं तो मैं आपको एग्जैक्ट टॉपिक भी बता सकता हूँ कि लास्ट ईयर क्या टॉपिक्स पूछे गए थे, उनको भी हम डिस्कस कर सकते हैं।
And about the
uh,
topic, will they inform us prior 10 minutes or 15 minutes
ना
about the
ना ना
topic?
नहीं, जैसे हमने सेशन कर
We
रहे हैं
have
Sir,
to
आपके,
sir,
improvise that.
sir,
Okay.
they do,
थ्री
they do.
3-4 मिनट्स आपको मिलते हैं, 3 to 5 minutes दे कैन गिव यू।
3 to 5 minutes to improvise the whole topic.
जैसे अभी सिया ने
Yeah,
सेशन स्टार्ट
they
किया था ना।
usually give you 5 minutes for
राइट,
preparation.
एग्री।
Okay, okay.
मतलब आपको एडवांस में नहीं होगा। कोई बच्चा पूछ रहा था क्या हमें ईमेल पे पहले टॉपिक्स पता चल जाते हैं, नहीं इतना। सी जीडी का मतलब भी होता है कि 5 मिनट सोचने को मिलता है। और एक और चीज है, सिया विल आंसर दिस। लास्ट ईयर जैसे 15 क्योंकि 400 बच्चे सिलेक्ट हुए हैं एग्जाम्पल के लिए, 20 सेट तो बनेंगे कम से कम जीडी के। तो उसमें कुछ सेट में बच्चों को पेन और पेपर अलाउ करे थे और मेजोरिटी सेट्स में अलाउ नहीं करे थे। दे सेड कि आप पेन और पेपर यूज नहीं कर सकते बिकॉज
Right.
अगर अगर वो अलाउ करेंगे ना, लोग मिसयूज करेंगे, लोग चैट जीपीटी यूज करेंगे। तो मुझे लग रहा है इस बार बिकॉज एआई एंड ऑल चैट जीपीटी इज देयर, पीपल नॉट अलाउ। दिल से कि मैंने टॉपिक बोल दिया है, आप सबके कैमरा ऑन रहेंगे, किसी पॉइंट पे आपका कैमरा बंद होता है आप डिस्क्वालीफाई हो जाते हैं। सेइंग दिस कि आप हो सकता है कुछ मिसयूज कर रहे हो या आप फोन वगैरह यूज करते हुए देखेंगे, तब भी वो आपको डिस्क्वालीफाई कर सकते हैं। मैंने लास्ट ईयर पैनल में से बच्चों को रिमूव होते हुए देखा था और फिर मेरे डीएम पे आया, सर अब मैं रिमूव कैसे हो गया। मैंने कहा ना मुझे पता है क्या हुआ जीडी में। तो ये चीज ध्यान रखिएगा। देखिए, तो जीडी का फॉर्मेट ये है, जैसे सिया ने बताया, 5 मिनट आपको 3 से 5 मिनट सोचने के मिले, उस टॉपिक के बारे में सोचिए। एंड देन उस पैनल में मान लीजिए 12 बच्चे हैं, 15 बच्चे हैं, तो हर एक बच्चे को इंट्रोडक्शन देने के लिए बोला जाएगा। तो सबसे पहले आप उनको बोलते हैं थैंक यू टू द रिस्पेक्टेड पैनल मेंबर्स टू गिव मी दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी टू बी पार्ट ऑफ दिस ग्रुप डिस्कशन। और ये पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक इज वेरी दिस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक व्हिच इज इन फ्रंट ऑफ अस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। आई वुड लाइक टू स्पीक इन फेवर ऑफ दिस टॉपिक, or you can say I would like to speak against this topic। समझ गए? So this is how you can, and then you can start stating। 1 मिनट आपको मिलता है, 1 मिनट 1.5 मिनट। आप टॉपिक के कुछ बहुत एक्सप्लेन नहीं करना है, की पॉइंट्स बोल दीजिए। अब हो सकता है जब की पॉइंट्स बोले 12 बच्चे हैं, आपका नंबर 7वें नंबर पे आ रहा है, तो आपको 7 से 10 मिनट वो एक्स्ट्रा मिल गए सोचने के लिए। आप इतने बच्चों को सुन चुके होंगे तो कुछ और पॉइंट्स आप अपने मन में बना सकते हो इंट्रोडक्शन के लिए। समझ गए? रिपीट मत करना कि जो आगे वाले बच्चों ने बोला वही आप बोलो। आई नो कि बहुत सारे पॉइंट्स नहीं होते हैं, बट कुछ तो अलग रखना पड़ेगा आपको, क्योंकि इंट्रोडक्शन के मार्क्स होते हैं, ग्रुप डिस्कशन के मार्क्स होते हैं, एंड देन आपके कंक्लूजन के भी मार्क्स होते हैं। समझ गए? या सी आई वांट टू ऐड एनीथिंग टू दिस जीडी वाला थिंग?
Yes, sir. GD में basically, as you mentioned, कि आपको अपने points रखने हैं, but then you also have to make sure that you're very respectful when you're keeping your
एग्री।
points. Don't try to overlap when another person is speaking. Don't try to, top them off. Ki I will give my opinion first, because then you will reduce.
Agree.
They will reduce your marks in that situation. And also, try, if it's a very heated topic, then try to maintain a neutral stance उस situation में. Don't very strongly disagree or agree with something. Don't feel very emotionally about a topic. Think very logically. Think as a future judge or a judicial officer. Even
Okay,
that
okay.
is something that you must keep in mind.
So there should be any particular genre which I should get the general information about, like alcohol or something, discrimination or
Oh,
something
for
like
sure.
that.
When we get to that stage, once you clear the psychometric test and when we are helping you prepare for the group discussion, we will have ample discussion on multiple topics. I already have a list of
Okay.
topics prepared that we will discuss upon, and her genre ke topics I will give them to you, and we can discuss points. We can have
Agree.
mock group discussions within the group itself on Zoom.
Okay, okay, okay. So, and one more thing. So, as you told, so that the person who starts the discussion itself, so has a little edge on him
Agree.
or her, right?
Agree.
So can I start the discussion during my introduction itself? So, like, I'm
No.
in the favor of the topic. No, but I
See,
have to limit
you
myself in the
नहीं,
introduction.
you can say you're in, I'll speak in favor, बट 1 मिनट बोल के आपका फिर अगले बच्चे का नंबर आएगा। जब 12 बच्चे सारे कवर्ड हो जाएंगे, उसके बाद पैनल विल से कि नाउ दिस ग्रुप डिस्कशन इज ओपन फॉर एवरीवन। और अगले 20 मिनट वो पैनल मेंबर कुछ भी नहीं बोलेंगे। यू 10-12 पीपल विल स्पीक इन फेवर अगेंस्ट। हो सकता है लड़ाई होगी, मतलब कई बच्चे किसी को अलाउ नहीं करेंगे बोलने के लिए। हर कोई पहला बोलना चाहता है, सेकंड पे बोलना चाहेंगे। हो सकता है आप कुछ पॉइंट रख रहे हो, कोई बीच में कट कर दे। सी यहाँ पे सीआई इज टेलिंग यू एज अ मेंटर, आई एम टेलिंग यू कि आपको अच्छे से बोलना है। पर हो सकता है जो सामने वाला पर्सन आए वो कुछ और ही सोच कर आया हो, उसको लग रहा है मुझे ज्यादा बोलने से सिलेक्शन होगा. So that's also happens in GD.
So I have to maintain my etiquette.
Agree.
It's if it doesn't matter what's the person in front of me saying. I have to control
हाँ, आप
myself and do
सुनना उनको,
well.
है ना, क्योंकि देखिए वहां पे वो आपको जज कर रहे हैं, है ना. हर एक का ओपिनियन होता है. हो सकता है कि आपको लग रहा है कि मैं बहुत ज्यादा बोल रहा हूँ तो मुझे ज्यादा मार्क्स मिलेंगे. हो सकता है वो आपके अगेंस्ट में जाए, राइट.
Okay, okay,
And
sir.
I would also like
That
to
was
add
my
to this,
query.
sir,
Thank you.
because a lot of times people think that if I disagree with somebody, I have to just, say that, oh, I don't agree with you. But then in that case, also stay respectful. Just say that I respect your opinion, but I think that
Agree.
it should be done this way. So there's a way
True.
of speaking also that you must keep in mind. And then they will also look at your body language, since you will also have to keep your cameras on. So even that should be kept in mind.
In GD, right.
Right. And wear a professional attire, wear
Actually,
formal.
हाँ, एडिंग टू व्हाट सिया सेड, गाइस प्लीज हैव अ ड्रेस कोड. अभी से रेडी कर लीजिए. प्रॉपर जो कोट होता है, पेन टाई, फॉर्मल ड्रेस कोड. लास्ट डे कहीं आपको भागना ना पड़े, प्लीज मेक श्योर. जो क्राइस्ट के इंटरव्यू में आपने फॉर्मल ड्रेस कोड लिया था या सिम्बोसिस में, वही आपको यहाँ भी लगेगा.
sir, compulsory we should wear the coat and all that.
या देखिए, अगर आप ऑफलाइन देखो जी, आप, मैं तो कहूँगा प्रॉपर ड्रेस कोड में बैठे हैं, है ना.
In
Okay,
the
sir.
group discussion.
हाँ, जीडी में भी प्रॉपर आप ड्रेस, मैंने मेरे तो सारे बच्चों को मैं फॉर्मल ड्रेस को देखो, मिनिमम इसकी मैं फॉर्मल शर्ट और फॉर्मल पैंट में बैठूं. एड अ कोट, इट देखो, इट ऑलवेज हेल्प्स. यू नेवर नो कब से प्रॉपर प्रॉपर अटायर ऑलवेज हेल्प्स यू.
Okay.
समझ गए. आई थिंक इट्स ऑलरेडी 8:12, तो 3 मिनट
Sir,
और हम डिस्कशन कर
actually,
लेते हैं. 1 मिनट. देन शयंत विल बी ज्वाइनिंग अस एट 8:15. सो हम यहीं से ट्रांजिशन कर लेंगे. एंड देन अगेन सिया विल बी मीटिंग यू टुमारो अगेन. सो अब अगले 10 days विल बी हैविंग अ सेशंस ऑन जीडी इन साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट. और ये ना थोड़ी प्रोसेस अलग है, बहुत सारा आपको मटेरियल यहाँ पे ऑनलाइन नहीं मिलता है. सो यू विल गेट टू हियर फ्रॉम द पीपल जो जिन्होंने ऑलरेडी ये चीज करी है. सिया खुद इस प्रोसेस से गई है, और मैंने लास्ट 5 ईयर में कम से कम सिया जैसे 150 बच्चों को हेल्प करा है इन गेटिंग इनटू दिस कोर्स. तो आप कॉलेज भी जाएंगे ना, यू विल सी हाफ ऑफ द पीपल एंटरिंग दिस बैच फ्रॉम द सीएमपी ओनली, है ना. एक और चीज है, लास्ट ईयर एक क्वेश्चन था, डू यू ट्रस्ट पीपल. तो प्लीज नोट डाउन दिस एंड देन ट्राई टू थिंक हाउ विल आंसर दिस. इसके अलावा एक क्वेश्चन था, हाउ ऑफ्टन डू यू गेट एंग्री. दैट्स वन ऑफ द क्वेश्चन व्हिच विल बी देयर. इज इट प्रेफरेबल टू आंसर यस, इंग्लिश में ही बोलना है आपको, ठीक है. एंड इसके बाद क्वेश्चंस, ठीक है, बाकी हम क्वेश्चंस आपको ग्रुप पे शेयर करते जाएंगे, ठीक है. कई
And
बार
sir,
एक क्वेश्चन,
sorry.
एक और था कि रेट योर पेशेंस, एंड देयर वाज अ रेटिंग चार्ट स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम वेरी लेस, मीडियम, हाई, वेरी हाई. तो ये जो क्वेश्चंस हैं, अभी हम इसका आंसर नहीं कर रहे हैं क्योंकि सिया विल बी एडिंग ऑल दीस क्वेश्चंस, है ना. मॉक साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट के जो आपके होंगे ना, उसमें सिया ऐड कर रही होगी सारे क्वेश्चंस को, ठीक है.
Yes, sir.
ओके, सो आई थिंक वी कैन.
sir, actually,
हाँ, जस्ट 1 मिनट, हम क्योंकि इस सेशन को स्विच कर रहे हैं, यू कंटिन्यू हियर. मैं आई वुड लाइक टू इनवाइट शयंत. मैं शयंत को लिंक सेंड कर रहा हूँ, ही विल जॉइन अस. सिया विल बी टेकिंग अ लीव एंड शी विल बी अगेन टेकिंग सेशंस टुमारो. एंड सिया का नंबर आई एम शेयरिंग ऑन व्हाट्सएप. तो इस बीच में आपके जो भी डाउट्स आएंगे तो यू कैन कोऑर्डिनेट विद शिया, शी विल बी आंसरिंग योर क्वेरी. थैंक यू सिया फॉर योर टाइम एंड इट वाज अ ग्रेट लर्निंग फॉर द स्टूडेंट. We'll again meet tomorrow in the same time around 7 o'clock
Thank you, sir.
to have a further session. Thank you for your time. Okay, thank you. So now I would
Sure.
like to
sir,
invite Shayant. Okay, let me just invite Shayant, then he can ask a query. Let me just give link to Shayant. Okay. Just give me 1 minute. Huh? हाँ, कोई क्वेश्चन कुछ पूछ रहा था, you can go ahead.
हाँ सर, जब डिबेट होता है तब हम उन्हें कॉन्ट्राडिक्ट कर सकते हैं क्या? आप वो कभी कभी बोलने का चांस भी नहीं देते हैं, जैसा आपने
कर
बोला था.
सकते हो, कर
हाँ,
सकते हो.
हम कर सकते हैं ना सर? Actually, that was my doubt. We can introvert them. That
देखिए कहीं तो आपको ओपिनियन रखना पड़ेगा ना। मान लीजिए देखिए आप अगर किसी के फेवर में हैं, देखो दो चीजें होती हैं। अगर आप किसी बच्चे के आप फेवर में बोले थे किसी टॉपिक के, तो जीडी चलते चलते आप एक बार ध्यान रख लेना कि जैसे एग्जाम्पल के लिए मैं ये देख लूं कि समद इज हेयर, अविराज इज हेयर, अलौकिक इज हेयर, अनुष्का, ये चार लोग फेवर में बोल रहे हैं, मतलब मैं भी फेवर में हूं, चार लोग भी फेवर में हैं। और नेक्स्ट यहाँ पे अर्पिता है, दीपेश है, ईशान है, लक्ष्य है, ये अगेंस्ट में है। तो ये जो चार बच्चे मेरे फेवर में हैं, इनके साथ मुझे एग्री करना है। जब भी पॉइंट बोलेंगे आई सी यस आई एग्री विद अनुष्का एंड आई विल लाइक टू ऐड दिस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट टू दिस। और अगर मुझे पता है दीपेश के अगेंस्ट है, ईशान के अगेंस्ट बोलना है, तो मैं दीपेश को सुनूंगा एंड विल से कि ओके थैंक यू फॉर अ पॉइंट दीपेश, बट आई वुड लाइक टू डिसएग्री विथ यू, राइट, यू आर रॉन्ग हियर, आई वुड लाइक टू कॉन्ट्राडिक्ट यू ऑन दिस। समझ गए? द फैक्ट यू आर प्रेजेंटिंग आर रॉन्ग। सो दिस इज हाउ द जीडी थिंग्स वर्क, कि आपको किसी के फेवर में ही बोलना है, किसी के अगेंस्ट में ही बोलना है। अब नाउ फॉर नेक्स्ट 15-20 minutes we'll listen to Shayant. We'll get to know more about psychometric test because हर एक पर्सन का पर्सपेक्टिव अलग होगा। मेरा psychometric test को जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग है वो बहुत अलग होगी, सिया की अंडरस्टैंडिंग को हमने देखा। और now let's listen to Shayant. He has gone through the test. He must have scored the highest because he was a rank 1 in 2024. और हाँ, सिया was rank 2 in this adjudication का 25, and this year also all the rank 1 and rank 2 will be from this adjudication batch only, don't worry. Okay,
actually, what is the difference between adjudication course and the honors?
फिर से बोलो।
एडजुडिकेशन जो अभी हम जो कोर्स के लिए अभी अपन ने अप्लाई किया है ना सर, और उसमें और बीएलएलबी ऑनर्स में व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस सर? मतलब डिफरेंस क्या है उन दोनों में?
एक मिनट, सब्जेक्ट्स का डिफरेंस होता है। मेजोरिटी सब्जेक्ट्स तो सेम होते हैं। कई बार जो जुडिशरी के लिए जो रिक्वायर्ड सब्जेक्ट होते हैं, जिसको आईपीसी या यू नो, और कई बार सीआरपीसी होता है। मैंने बीएलएलबी नॉर्मल कोर्स करा है एचएनएलयू रायपुर से, तब हमने जो सब्जेक्ट्स 9th सेमेस्टर में पढ़े थे, ड्राफ्टिंग एक होता है, ड्राफ्टिंग प्लीडिंग, ये सारे सब्जेक्ट अब सेकंड सेमेस्टर या सेकंड ईयर में पढ़ने लगते हैं बिकॉज थोड़ा सा जुडिशियरी ओरिएंटेड कोर्स है। द सब्जेक्ट्स विच विल बी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू टू अपियर फॉर अ जुडिशियरी एग्जाम, दीज सब्जेक्ट्स विल बी टॉट टू यू इन इनिशियल ईयर्स। ओके, नाउ इस पर्टिकुलर कोर्स में मैं जब बीएलएलबी में था तो हमारे पास कुछ मैंडेटरी नहीं था कि मुझे जुडिशरी के साथ इंटर्नशिप करनी ही है। मैं जज के साथ इंटर्नशिप करूं ना करूं, मैं फ्री था। दिस पर्टिकुलर कोर्स में हैज अ मैंडेटरी इंटर्नशिप, 4-5 इंटर्नशिप है जो आपको जज के साथ करनी है, मे बी डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट, हाई कोर्ट, सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजेस के साथ करनी है। तो दिस इज अ बेसिक डिफरेंस इन दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग। नाउ यहाँ पे जब मैं नॉर्मल बीएलएलबी कोर्स में था, हम 4th ईयर में मेजर सब्जेक्ट चूज करते थे, जहाँ पे हमने कॉर्पोरेट लॉ चूज करा था, कई सारे बच्चे क्रिमिनल लॉ चूज करते हैं। तो वहां से आपकी प्लेसमेंट की ट्रेजेक्टरी डिसाइड होती है, आप क्या करियर लेना चाहते हो वो डिसाइड होती है। यहाँ पे एक नॉर्मल रेगुलर कोर्स है, दिल टॉट यू अबाउट अदर सब्जेक्ट एज वेल, बट कोई स्पेशलाइज करके ऐसा नहीं कि किसी पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट में आप स्पेशलाइजेशन कर रहे होंगे। सो दिस इज हाउ इट वर्क्स। बाकी जो बच्चे वहां पढ़ रहे हैं उनसे भी हम जानेंगे। देखिए इस साल भी काफी सारे बच्चों को मैं जानता हूँ जो गए इस कोर्स में थे। देखिए इस कोर्स का पर्पज बहुत नोबल था, बट जैसे ही कोर्स बना 2-3 साल हुए, जुडिशरी का रूल आ गया कि अब 3 ईयर ऑफ लॉ, 3 ईयर की प्रैक्टिस रिक्वायर्ड होगी। मतलब मैं एचएनएलयू से ग्रेजुएट हुआ था 2020 में, और मेरे साथ में जितने भी दोस्त थे, जितने फ्रेंड्स थे जिन्होंने जज बनने का ठाना था, वो सारे जज बन चुके हैं। कब बन गए थे? 2021 में। एक साल कॉलेज से इन्होंने तैयारी शुरू कर दी थी, और कॉलेज में आप बहुत कुछ पढ़ लेते हो, तो उन्होंने कुछ एक साल तैयारी करी होगी। जो पहला अटेम्प्ट दिया था, मेजोरिटी क्लियर था जुडिशरी। कुछ नहीं हुए थे 22 में, जुडिशरी में बन के सारे जजेस हैं। रिसेंटली ऑल गॉट मैरिड एज वेल। नाउ अगर ये रूल होता कि नहीं 2020 में तो आप ग्रेजुएट हो रहे हो, पर अब 23 के बाद आप एग्जाम दोगे, तो हो सकता है मुझे 1 साल 2 साल लगे। मैं ग्रेजुएट हो रहा हूँ 23 की एज में, मतलब 26 से पहले मैं जुडिशरी का एग्जाम ही नहीं दे पाऊंगा। जब ये रूल आया, not just in this particular course, everywhere around all the NLUs, all the private colleges, बहुत सारे बच्चे जुडिशरी जाना चाहते थे, बट ये बहुत बड़ा डिस्करेजमेंट था उनके लिए, बहुत बड़ा डिसएडवांटेज था। तो दे ऑल डिसाइडेड कि ठीक है, अब क्योंकि जुडिशरी में लिमिटेशन है, तो या तो मैं लिटिगेशन करूँ 3 साल, उसके बाद में जुडिशरी जाऊं, अगर आप इतना डिटरमेंट है। नहीं तो बच्चों ने अपनी इंटर्नशिप कॉर्पोरेट में करना शुरू कर दी, और इस पर्टिकुलर कोर्स से भी बच्चे कॉर्पोरेट इंटर्नशिप करते हैं। और अगर कैपेबल हो, आपने कॉर्पोरेट इंटर्नशिप करी है और आपके पास स्किल्स हैं तो कंपनीज आपको लेती हैं। सिंपल सी बात है। एग्जाम्पल के लिए जैसे हम प्लेसमेंट्स की बात करें तो क्या इस पर्टिकुलर कोर्स से प्लेसमेंट नहीं होंगे? होंगे, अगर इस साल भी हुए हैं। इस साल जो बैचेस ग्रेजुएट होंगे तब भी होंगे। मतलब आप जब ग्रेजुएट होंगे अगले 5 बैच और निकल चुके होंगे, राइट? तो ये 5 बैचेस में से ये चीज मानिए इस कोर्स में 60 बच्चे जा रहे हैं। हर बच्चे जुडिशरी में जाए, हर बच्चा लिटिगेशन जाए, जरूरी नहीं है। People who want to go for corporate, they'll be doing the internship, and that's how they'll be getting the jobs and all. एक एनएलयू का टैग भी रहेगा and you'll be getting into a college. Okay, चलिए। So बाकी queries हम और लेंगे, ठीक है? Let me just start. Saint, can you hear me? Just okay. Saint, can you hear me? आई थिंक अभी तक जो मैंने सेशन लिया इससे कुछ ये क्लैरिटी तो आपको आ गई होगी कि हमारा ये पर्टिकुलर साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट कैसे होगा। अब जब सैंत इज ज्वाइनिंग, उसी को हम आगे कन्वर्सेशन को कंटिन्यू करेंगे, है ना? विल आस्क यू मोर क्वेरीज की, क्योंकि उनका एक्सपीरियंस कैसा था, व्हाट ऑल क्वेश्चन यू शुड बी प्रिपेयरिंग। ओके, चलिए। कई बच्चे पूछ
Hello.
या हाय
Hi,
हाय सैंत,
sir.
हाउ आर यू?
I'm doing well, sir. Hi.
एक साल बाद बात हो रही है आपसे। ओके। काफी
Uh,
ओके, चलिए। सो so guys, we can start with the session now with Shayant. As we know that we just had session with Sia, we discussed about the psychometric test and everything. Shayant, this year, also to, I would like to introduce Shayant. Shayant is a second year student in MNLU Nagpur Adjudication course right now. He appeared for CLAT 24, and then he went to this particular course and he secured rank 1 in this particular course. And I know Sain from last 2 years now. He was CMP student, and he was in all the CMP batches of counseling batches, and then he was in the adjudication batch, and we prepared with him. And from last year, so he know how to go about all these courses. So last year he helped so many students. Last year I think we had 32 students who got selected, and all credit goes to Science. He took all the mock interviews, the group discussion, and lot of things and all. Some student came to me saying, "Ki, sir, what all questions Science asked me in the interview, the same question judges asked in the actual thing." Chale. So Science is a valuable asset for us. Okay. So let's start the session now. So Science, you're in Nagpur, abhi?
no, sir. We'll be going
Inter-
back to Nagpur on the 26th. We've come
this
home right now.
abhi
I was
internship
in
break hai?
Delhi the last month because I
Acha.
was interning. I was interning this month also, but I took work from home this month, so I came back home.
Oh, acha. That's great. So it's second year, and how many internship you have done so far?
Sir, so I think around 8, 9.
क्रेजी। मतलब मुझसे अगर कोई सेकेंड ईयर में पूछता है आकांक्ष कितने इंटर्नशिप करी है, मैं सेमेस्टर काउंट करता और इंटर्नशिप बताता 3 कर। सी आई शुड डू लाइक आफ्टर एवरी सेमेस्टर, दैट्स इट, नॉट लाइक मैनी। ओके, चलो। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद टॉपिक नाउ। सो शायद दिस ईयर देयर इज वन चेंज। which I think you will you're a right person to talk to the administration and get more clarity. Every year, so this course structure, CLAT rank ke basis pe they used to give the qualification. They have given that qualification. Now cutoff is close to 9,000 CLAT rank. Okay. After
Okay, sir.
this, you used to had a group discussion GD, and then GD was a point जहाँ पे 400 में से वो कुछ 100 150 बच्चों को रिमूव करके
हाँ
250 को सिलेक्ट करते थे.
हाँ
जो बच्चे क्वालिफाई कर जाते थे जीडी को,
हाँ
दे ऑल यूज्ड टू अपीयर फॉर साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट एंड गो फॉर
हाँ
द इंटरव्यू.
हाँ.
बट दिस ईयर उन्होंने इस सीक्वेंस को चेंज करके सबसे पहले इन्होंने साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट रखा हुआ है.
अच्छा, तो अभी तक जीडी नहीं हुआ है?
पहले साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट होगा,
ओके.
देन जीडी होगा, और इवन साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट में भी बच्चे वो रिजेक्ट कर रहे हैं. दैट्स व्हाट दे हैव सेड इन द नोटिफिकेशन.
ओके.
नॉट श्योर हाउ टू डू इट. अगर मैं आपको
इस
नोटिफिकेशन,
टेस्ट में रिजेक्शन कैसे आ सकता है सर?
वही तो
Yeah. नहीं,
मतलब
आई डोंट थिंक वो लोग इस टेस्ट में कोई रिजेक्ट करेंगे. आई थिंक इसके बाद जीडी में ही सबका रिजेक्शन आएगा.
मेरे ख्याल से तो ऐसे होना चाहिए कि साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट पहले हो, कभी भी हो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. जो भी बच्चे साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट दें वो सारे जीडी भी दें, और
हाँ
उसके बाद देन यू कैन डिसाइड कि किस
हाँ.
कैन, बिकॉज वो पूरे 400 बच्चों को तो इंटरव्यू में नहीं बुलाएंगे. आई एम वेरी श्योर.
नहीं 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 नहीं.
आपके बैच में कितने बच्चे थे?
अभी टोटल बैच में कितने बच्चे हैं?
नहीं नहीं, इंटरव्यू देने के लिए 200 और 150 कम ही जाते हैं जिनका
150 150 है.
150 ना, उसमें से 60 का हो जाता है.
हाँ 60 का हो जाता है.
इनका अगर मैं आपको नोटिफिकेशन पढ़ के बताऊं, नागपुर वाला, गाइस अगर एक बार चैट बॉक्स पे आप कंफर्म करना, उन्होंने एक नोटिफिकेशन में लिखा हुई है चीज कि हाउ मेनी विल बी गेटिंग सिलेक्टेड नागपुर एजुकेशन. ठीक है, आई थिंक उसका हम क्लैरिटी और ले लेंगे कॉलेज से, बिकॉज इट विल नॉट मेक सेंस कि सिर्फ साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट के बेसिस पे किसी को रिजेक्ट कर दें, है ना.
नहीं, आई डोंट थिंक साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट पे किसी को रिजेक्ट करेंगे.
बट दे कैन डू, बिकॉज उन्होंने जैसा अभी लिखा हुआ है तो वो तो वही लिखा
नहीं, ये
हुआ
तो
है.
मतलब कंप्लीटली एक सब्जेक्टिव टेस्ट ही होता है. वो लोग इसको बस पर्सनल इंटरव्यू में असेस करने के लिए रखते हैं, सो दैट दे कैन
एग्री.
असेस
आस्क
दी
क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम दिस.
कैरेक्टर्स. हाँ
एंड डू, बिकॉज लास्ट ईयर मुझे काफी सारे बच्चे पता है जिनका उन्होंने साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट में से ही क्वेश्चन पूछे हुए थे, कि दे सेड कि, है ना. सो इज इट अ केस लाइक दे आस्क क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट एज वेल इन इंटरव्यू?
देर आर वेरी रेयर चांसेस कि ये होगा, क्योंकि एटलीस्ट इन आर केस व्हेन वी गिव आवर इंटरव्यू ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. दे डिड नॉट particularly ask any question from our psychometric test. उनके पास हमारे रिजल्ट्स थे जो वो लोग असेस कर रहे थे हमारे कैरेक्टर के साथ मैच करने के लिए. बट हमारा जो क्वेश्चंस दिया गया था दैट वाज completely separate from our psychometric test.
ऑलराइट. ओके, चलिए, whether they consider this or not, मेरे ख्याल से दोनों के बाद ही उनका एडमिशन होना चाहिए. I'll also drop a email to them. Okay, so we can start with a session. We'll be having this session till 9 o'clock, where will be initially 15 minutes. Shayant will be explaining us. Guys, you can keep your cameras on. So it should not be a conversation between me and Shayant. It should be an interactive session with all of you. Okay. Or when we teach online, we just see your messages and all. So it's very first time we'll see your faces and all. So we'll remember you. Okay. So Shane, for initial 15 minutes, give them a brief idea how they will be approaching, what questions to expect in segment test, and how they have to answer. Because questions can be confusing, right? Agree, strongly agree, and all. And then remaining 15 minutes, these all will be asking their questions to you. So yeah, now it's up to you. You can start with that. All the yeah.
So psychometric test is mostly just a psychology test for each and every student who is appearing for the course. It is not something which is based on any technical skill or any knowledge per se. It is कि हमारे पर्सनालिटी के हिसाब से हम लोग क्या किसी सिचुएशन को असेस करते हैं, हाउ वी वुड रिएक्ट टू सिचुएशन. फॉर एग्जांपल, so there are opinions given, for example, and then you have the option of strongly agreeing to that opinion or strongly disagreeing to that opinion. Or if you are neutral on that stance, you can put neutral there. You're also put in different kind of situations and you're asked कि आप इस situation में क्या करेंगे, to assess your mental understanding of that situation and how you would approach going about in these scenarios. So these are only to get a basic understanding of how you perceive the situations around you and what your mental characteristics are. And then फिर आपके ये जो results होते हैं, I think I don't remember the exact amount of questions, but I think अगर 100 questions पूछते हैं, so they give you a substantial amount of time to complete that. And फिर आपके पास आपके जो 100 questions के results होते हैं, those results are kept with them, which is used to assess जब आप पर्सनल इंटरव्यू देने जाएंगे, क्योंकि हमारे टाइम पे तो जीडी के बाद ही हुआ था. But if in your case your GD is after this, then this would be separate altogether. कि मतलब if they assess your characteristics before that, but although I don't know if they can reject somebody on the basis of a certain characteristic, वो I don't think हो रहा होगा. But उसके बाद आपके जो ये results होते हैं, these are kept with the people who are going to be sitting inside the room while your interview is going on. They will have a copy of your results and your characteristics with them. So when you're asked a certain question in the interview, हमारे टाइम पे तो यही हुआ था कि when you're asked a certain question in the interview and फिर आप जैसे जैसे उस question का आंसर देते हैं, those are also kind of similar questions in the nature कि वहाँ पे भी आपको अपना characteristic बताना होता है कि आप इस situation में क्या करेंगे या फिर आपका इस चीज़ के ऊपर क्या opinion है. So in that case, if your personality aligns with your psychometric test, that is how they would probably assess that. उसके अलावा I don't think the test itself is very complicated at all. वो बहुत basic questions ही होते हैं. I think in the last session तुम लोगों ने कुछ mock rounds के question दिए होंगे. However, it's not something that requires a lot of studying per se. तो 100 क्वेश्चन होते हैं. आई थिंक you'll get a substantial amount of time उसको complete करने के लिए, and काफी different different types के question होते हैं. I can send you a few PDFs जहाँ पे मतलब ऐसे examples दिए हुए हैं, so that would allow you, or you can even go online and do a personality test. So उसमें you can find websites which give you 150 questions for a psychometric test, and you can do a sample of these tests altogether जिससे आपको भी एक understanding रहे कि आपको उस एग्जाम में क्या देना है. It's not that it's per se a very examination type thing कि आपको बस अपना characteristic बताना है वहाँ पे. There's no need to particularly lie, but हाँ एक certain अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ सोसाइटी के साथ इन क्वेश्चंस को अप्रोच करना चाहिए. एक सर्टेन अमाउंट ऑफ सेल्फलेसनेस दिखानी चाहिए. दीज आर सर्टेन कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स विच आर गिवन कि मतलब ये जो कोई आ रहा होगा ऐसे कॉलेज में, दे शुड हैव, एंड यू शुड आल्सो कीप दीज थिंग्स इन माइंड कि मतलब आपका कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऐसे ही आप मेंटेन करेंगे जब आप कोई भी आंसर देंगे इंटरव्यू में जाके. I think that's the basic. उसके आगे psychometric test में there's not much to discuss. There's only कि I think the GD is the only complicated part per se of the ad admission process.
Right. So now you can ask all your queries, guys. One on one, you can just unmute yourself, or you can just. So you can see the chat box, right? Sign. There are a few queries in the chat box, starting with Vaishnav, and then we have Anushka.
Will we be allowed to sit in
I
placement
think that's
and
a
manage?
query. Yeah.
No, you won't be.
Then
The
we.
thing is, there's not a lot of clarity on it yet, because as far as the policy stands, adjudication batch is not allowed to sit for placements. That does not stop you from going per se outside to get a offer yourself or anything like that. You are full well allowed to intern wherever you want, and if you get a PPO from somewhere else, that's a completely different story. As such, the college itself also does not have a very good placement scenario as of yet for either of the batches. So I would not particularly say that it's important in that regard. And if they've said that they would disqualify based on psychometric test, I am not quite aware. I'm not quite aware of whether or not they can do that or how they will particularly do that. Uh, okay. So if they've said that they would disqualify 180 people based on psychometric test alone, then, like I said, see, when you're answering these questions, you keep a certain mindset in place that you're going to be leading with. Every question you answer, you have see, there's some things which are given as a good way of thinking and a bad way of thinking. Use your common sense. do not answer in a way which would be particularly negative in nature. And I don't think it's something that would be inherently very complicated. आपको अगर 100 के 100 क्वेश्चन कंप्लीट कर ले तो उसमें उतना कोई वरी करने की चीज नहीं है. How to introduce yourself in GD? You do not introduce yourself in GD per se. आप जब इंट्रोड्यूस जैसे ही फ्लोर खुलता है आप अपने आप को एक बार अगर कर सकते हैं इंट्रोड्यूस तो गो अहेड इंट्रोड्यूस योरसेल्फ. बट आई क्या हम लोग को नाम बोलना अलाउड था? हाँ. So you get 5 minutes in the starting to introduce your own motion on the topic जो आपका stance है and आपका नाम है. So you get 5 minutes of introduction in your GD for each and every person, and then after the floor opens, then you have to argue amongst yourselves. So in the initial 5 minutes, you have to introduce yourself and introduce your stance on the subject कि आप उसके बारे में क्या सोचते हैं and आप किस जगह पे exactly stand करते हैं उसको लेके. Psychometric test में ऐसा कुछ नहीं. It's just a continuous 100 questions that you'll have to solve.
See, for the psychometric test, you will have 100 questions, out of which 20 questions will be very similar. For instance, you'll have a question if you'll see a man on the street laying down, will you help him or not? So you'll get four options: strongly agree, strongly disagree. So
Right.
you'll have a similar pattern of questions bar. Like you'll have a fifth question, then a 20th question, just similar होगा. Now you need to make sure कि your answer throughout the 100 questions or the 150 questions is consistent. ताकि
Right.
when they evaluate the result, so it is not inconsistent, because I think if they are disqualifying, the major reason
Yeah,
for
that would be your
disqualification
inconsistency. So,
inconsistency.
for example, if you start off the first 20 questions with a certain perspective in mind, and उसके बाद अगर आपकी consistency उस चीज में खत्म हो जाती है, so you go on some other route of thinking for the next few questions you answer. This inconsistency may be taken into account कि you are not consistent with your way of thinking or your understanding of a certain situation. तो उसके बेसिस पे अगर आपको डिस्क्वालीफाई करना चाहते हैं आई थिंक दैट इज वन वे दे कैन गो अबाउट इट.
Stein, can you explain this with our example?
सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल से अगर आपसे पहले पूछा जाता है इफ यू आर फॉर कैपिटलिज्म और नॉट, अगर आपको पूछा जाता है इफ यू स्ट्रांगली अग्री विद कैपिटलिज्म और स्ट्रांगली डिसएग्री विद कैपिटलिज्म, you put a certain stance forward whether or not you agree or disagree. ठीक है. So if you say that you disagree with capitalism in the first few questions and then बहुत end की तरफ आपको कोई question आता है and it is not required कि वो दोनों questions एकदम पास पास आए. अगर end की तरफ कोई question आता है जहाँ पे कोई scenario बनाया हुआ है, right, and it's a scenario of some societal event or something, or a societal scenario जहाँ पे वो capitalism को support कर रहे हैं, and you agree to that situation particularly even if it is not directly related, अगर वो आपका stance weaken करता है that you said that you disagree with capitalism, that inconsistency may be something that they can take into account कि मतलब आप अपने खुद के answers के साथ consistent नहीं है. Other than that, I don't really think that there's a way they can do that. उसकी criteria अब administration के ऊपर ही है. That's not something that I per se know.
Yeah, close to 25 students are there in the chat. So I think I request everyone to just text your query in the chat box. So Saint is reading all the chat and he will be replying to you accordingly. There's
Yeah,
another query.
it's
Yeah,
just
you can.
about being yourself. That's not, yeah, it's not that difficult. If in GD there is a topic on which we do not have a command, what do you do in that case? That is the point. The GD is not about having knowledge, it is about having command over speaking. So if you're in a group of 10 people, and even if your point is not that great per se, you need to have a control over the room that you're speaking in. There's a lot of people who can go on speaking for 5 minutes even without information, and that comes from fluency on the subject as well. But it also comes from confidence. So, how you manage a GD floor is exactly why you get scored. It is not per se on the technical points. It is based on that a little, obviously. However, आप कैसे GD में control करते हो और कैसे बोलते हो is the major factor in marking you. क्या और कुछ किसी को पूछना है?
So I have a doubt here that let's
Yeah.
suppose in GD the other candidates or the other students are too dominant or oppressive. So how am I supposed to handle those types of situation?
You need to be dominant and oppressive.
So
It's
I have to
okay.
do the same as
Listen,
well. You see.
through if someone else in your group is being dominant, it's not that it's gonna benefit them, but it's gonna lose them points as well. Because
I
the
don't think so.
moderator in the group discussion, who is the faculty, will also see which person is trying to be over aggressive over other people, and they'll ask them to please allow other people also to speak. So it's not much of a problem, but if yes, someone is trying to be too dominant, please try to make sure that yes, you are dominant, but in the same manner, you're also respectful to them. Because I think being dominant is not the solution. You need to make sure that you present your arguments or whatever it is in a very peaceful manner. That is, you can
Yeah,
the
yeah. So I
moderator
have to be
appreciates.
cooperative at the same time, but
Yes.
dominant and
Yes.
cooperative at the same time.
See, if you're speaking in a group of 10 people, there is a certain amount of words that you would need to get out, obviously. You need to be a certain amount of dominant in every GD situation as well. However, if somebody is being so dominant that they do not let the others get their point across at all, see, there is a certain mark that you get for accommodating other people. So, if you, for example, the room is getting too crowded, everybody is constantly fighting, then nobody benefits from that per se. So, what you can do is in that case you say that, okay, I understand and I hear everybody, but let's get this person to get their point across. They have been trying to speak and they have not been able to get their point across for a long time. And then you give a certain other person the chance to speak, and that also adds to the points that you do get per se from the moderator in that regard. If you can use Hindi in GD, no, you cannot.
Yeah, as sir mentioned earlier, that in the introduction itself, the students are supposed to tell whether they are in the true in the favor of the argument or they are in the against argument or
Yeah.
against the argument. So let's suppose I'm in the favor of an argument, XYZ, any argument you can per se. So if I have given my point to the in the GD, and then I'll shift my turn to the other person, or I'll say that the ABC person was also in favor. Then you can also vouch for me or something like that. Will that be helping me, or I'll be digging my own grave in that thing?
There's no point to doing a lot of that.
So there's no benefit in doing that.
I'm not saying there's no benefit, but see, if you need to understand that everybody needs to get their individual points across as well. So if you're trying to accommodate too many people and trying to get support out of too many people, then you're just giving your own points away as well.
Okay, okay.
If you're on the
So it's
same
this.
sides, it's good that you speak on the same points and you agree certain times when you hear them say your point or something like that. But do not go out of your way to accommodate too many people.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, that
Okay,
was
I
my
have a
query.
doubt.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
In GD, is it necessary for me to like agree or disagree on a certain motion? Can I also have a neutral stance to it? Like,
No.
is it necessary for me to?
Yes.
Okay.
A GD is completely black or white. You need to have one side that you go with. You can either be in the favor or you can be against it. However, I would not particularly say that you can stay neutral on any subject. Could you please share how GD is conducted? You should stick to your points, and you can say that you're open to a more nuanced approach from the others on the floor, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you should portray that you're on some neutral stance. How a GD is conducted and then 1 minute to ask questions. That's not how it works. It works that you have to first introduce yourself and your stance on a topic for 5 minutes or 2 minutes. I don't exactly remember the time. You're given a certain amount of time. Everybody is given a certain introductory time to do that, and then you introduce yourself and your stance, and then after that, once the floor opens, it's like an open debate where everybody can, one person starts off the debate or the discussion, and then everybody continues on that, agreeing or disagreeing to that person, and then the conversation flows along like that.
One more thing, it's more of a personal thing. If you can tell me that what was your topic at the time at the GD and what was your stance on it?
I think it was something on legal AI, and it was on AI and the legal. It was something related to current legal affairs, and it had something to do with AI, but I don't exactly remember the topic. I'll have to look in back into my documents once.
And your stance on it?
I was speaking for the topic.
For the time. Okay. And you said that the floor opens once all the judges will be at the side. So wouldn't that
There's no
cause a
judges per
chaos at the
se for
election?
the GD. There is a moderator, and a moderator is usually silent the entire time. A moderator does not come in between in a GD to stop other people from speaking. A GD is an open floor where everybody keeps fighting upon each other.
Yeah, like there are MNUs at the school, you know that. So, but JD is a completely different thing or a kind of similar thing, you know, Model United Nation. I mean, as
No,
per.
you're not dealing uh like Model United Nations. It's, think of it like an open debate between five people sitting in a room.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared of it because at the starting it will cause a lot of chaos if the ground will just open and everyone
Yes,
will be.
that's why we need to conduct practice sessions to understand and to uh, prepare ourselves for the GD itself. You need to be confident when you go in. If you do not say a word there, then you'll just lose out on your point.
And were you also at the proper attire at the time of GD? Or were you wearing
Yes, you
the
need to
formal?
be in formal attire.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be. Okay,
Yes.
okay, okay. So thank you.
Uh,
I do have a doubt.
Go ahead.
So basically, my doubt was that sir has put in a question in front of us that do you trust peoples? So how do we are able to answer such sort of questions? That trusting a person might be agreeing or disagreeing.
Are you talking in relation to a psychometric test or the GD?
Yeah, it is in a psychometric test.
Okay. So, do you trust people? So, do you strongly agree or disagree to that?
So how we are able to answer such questions? If I do
It's
agree,
upon you. It's what you think on a subject. What are your personal beliefs? Are you as a person who trusts people easily?
so how they're able to disqualify? Because I think the whole
So
test is
see,
going to
I'm
be.
not saying that they are supposed to. In our scenarios, we had our psychometric tests after our GD. We did not have them before, and neither did we have any disqualification on our GD itself, on our psychometric test. So at the time, they did not used to do this. So I am not very aware as to what are their metrics to disqualify people on psychometric tests.
Okay.
What if someone brings us some question regarding particular political party? Should I answer it or refrain from answering that question? And how to tackle if somebody changes the topic while debating? So for the first question that you've asked regarding any particular political party, I would suggest you to stay away from discussing any political views per se, because I don't think the topic which you would be given would be surrounding anything like that. You're not going to be given a topic which is particularly sensational in nature or something that raises questions about other people's particular political choices. So stay away from it completely. And if somebody is, then I do not know in what relation they would bring up political party. And even if they do, then please steer away from showing any particular views on either the right or the left. How to tackle if somebody tries to change the topic while debating, then you bring back the room into the main topic that you were discussing. You say that while we recognize what you're saying, it feels like we are straying away from the actual topic of discussion here, which is required. And I suggest that on that note, we discuss this again, and then you introduce something of the nature which is back on the topic. But it is important that you stay on topic, because if the GD room is something that strays away from the topic a lot, then that was not good points for you. Any other questions? What topics do they favor in GD? Mostly any current legal affairs or any particular basic questions which are related to psychology. It can relate to sociology. It can relate to current legal matters that are going on. Uh, Mostly current affairs, current legal news, or anything which is a sociological or a psychological question. Some things which are ongoing, like what should be the age of consent in uh, sexual intercourse, or POXO Act itself. Something like this can be given in a topic for you to discuss as well. Um, if you've been given a situation in psychometric test, if you would cross over a red traffic light, should we say yes if that is for to save a person's life who is in need of urgent medical care? You can absolutely say that you would break a red light. That is not the issue. And I think if you are saying that in the context of saving somebody who requires urgent medical care, then that is something that you can showcase. That shows that you have a caring nature, that you understand other people's plight, you understand societal issues which are going on around you, and you can make some transgressions of law in that nature, like breaking the red light. So you need to stay consistent on that accord as well, that you would cross certain legal boundaries to save somebody's life. You keep the characteristics in mind and you stay consistent with it. There is no issue.
Jan,
Spirit
I
of
have
law
a
is
question.
yes.
Adding questions in the discussion would be meaningful or not? Like questions
Your
your views on this point.
Yeah, you can add questions to other people's views or your views as well, but they should be relevant to the topic completely.
Yeah, I have a doubt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's take the example of this ambulance question again of the red light one. So, how further repercussions am I supposed to consider? Because wherever there's a red light only at an area where 3 or 4 lane merges to prevent accidents, right? So let's suppose if I skip the I were an ambulance driver, okay? I were an ambulance driver. I skip the red light, and now I'm causing more greater harm because there will be green light to someone else on the other lane, and I caused a more greater harm. So should I consider that much further
So
repercussions?
then again, that is a result of your thought process, right? If your thought process said that you can make a certain transgression in law to save somebody's life, you thought that breaking that red light was fine. So you went ahead and broke that red light. Now, what happens as a consequence of your thinking is a completely separate thing altogether. You, in your best nature, believed that you can break a red light to save somebody's life who needs urgent medical care. So you broke a red light and you crossed the red light. So that shows that you have some empathetic nature towards the person that you are carrying to the hospital. Now, you, in that nature, have also accepted the consequences of what might happen. You, as a prudent person, would know that breaking a red light means that at some point you may get into a crash. So, in that nature, you are an empathetic person who can make a transgression in law. So, you also face the consequences which are related to it.
Okay, we are all clear.
If out of 10 people in a room, I'm number 6, the fifth before me chose to be in favor of the topic, should I stay in favor or try to be against? Does this change? No, it does not change who exactly is before you and who chooses that. In fact, everybody can be on the same side, everybody can be on the different side. It is, you are allowed to take your side. However, that being said, you're supposed to make it a fruitful discussion, because if everybody's on the same side, then what discussion would you exactly have? So you need to balance going having a favor and against on a balanced nature in the GD instead of just being one-sided in that nature. So if you see that there are too many people in favor, then you go against if you believe you can speak then that way. Is that all? You will not be given such a choice, first of all. But even if you are given a choice like that, such as spirit of the law versus letter of the law, which should be the main point of a particular judgment, what is your opinion on that? Do you as a person believe that the spirit of the law is more important than what is exactly given down in law or in legislature? So in that regard, you would need to answer that, because if you believe that law is only what is written down in legislature, then you'll have to put that point across. No answer that you give in that nature would be particularly wrong, but you need to have a way to defend your answer. You can't just say that, oh, I believe the letter of the law is more important. How do you believe that it's more important? You need to have a justification for it, right? So if you say that the spirit of the law is more important, then you justify why the spirit of the law is more important. And you should not say any of these things that the spirit of the law is particularly more important or less important than the letter. And this is a very specific example, so I don't know why you are bringing that up. But in that nature, if you are given a choice between the two of these, you should have a balanced approach, saying that none can exist one without the other. And what is inherently just written down in legislature has not always been the
Yes.
correct law in that nature, and you should have a balanced approach in that regard. Anything else?
I I had this doubt about 10 people. Actually, I got through a mock GD discussion on internet itself, and I've seen that there was a discussion going on, and most of the people of the group, not most, actually, all of the people were in the favor. And after the analysis, the moderator gave the feedback of like the discussion was not being fruitful. So what if
Yeah.
that situation comes in
So then
our
obviously speak against in that regard.
Acha,
You do
okay.
not want
Thank
the
you.
entire GD flow to be on the same side, then what discussion exactly will you have?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. I think we're running out of time as well. Do panelists ask questions from profile? What profile are you talking about? Are you talking about the psychometric profile that you'll have? Yes, they ask in questions from your interests and hobbies, but the main question that you're marked on is something that they, I think, ask to all of the same people who are going in one group. You are given going in a group of five per person. Five people in one group. All of you go together and they ask you questions simultaneously. So you're given the main question, I think, all of them. What?
अरे एड्रेस दे दो मेरे को पढ़ निकल ली प्लीज
So, guys, we have last 1 minute for the session. Any other queries if you want to ask to Shine? We'll be having regular session with Shine for next upcoming days, where we'll be discussing more GD. So, I think as per my and Shine's understanding, obviously there will be correction from the Nagpur end as well regarding the GD. So, I think from tomorrow itself we can start the preparation for psychometric test and GD both together. So, at least it should not happen कि बाद में आपके पास कम time होता है preparation के लिए, or you suffer because of that, right? So we'll be taking care of these things as well. हम आपको जीडी का समरी भी भेज देंगे। और क्योंकि देखिए एज साइंट मेंशन कि आप साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट के लिए बहुत ज्यादा कुछ प्रिपेयर नहीं कर सकते हैं। You have to immediately answer whatever kind of questions you'll be getting in front of you. और I'll say जो प्रीवियस के क्वेश्चंस हमने ऑलरेडी भेजे हुए हैं ना, वही रिपीट होते हैं। साइन के केस में जो आए थे वही लास्ट से रिपीट हुए थे। सो 90% क्वेश्चंस आर सेम। So what we'll do, we'll keep sharing those questions. Saint भी कुछ basic questions जो Saint will recall from previous year, he will also share with me. I'll share in the group. So that's what we have to do. Because Saint will agree कि अगर हम online जो psychometric test देखते हैं वो बहुत different होते हैं, क्योंकि वो CAT एग्जाम के लिए, कई बार वो जॉब इंटरव्यूज के लिए होते हैं। So we'll be
हाँ
sharing the relevant one जो CLAT के लेके ज्यादा relevant हो। So this is how we'll be approaching. So I think we'll you have answered all the queries. There's no query left in the chat box. Anyone who want to ask last query, or shall we end the session? Perfect. I think we are done with session. So thank you everyone for joining us today, and thank you so much, Shayant, for your time
yes
and
sir.
answering all the queries. We will be here. We'll be using Shayant experience and others, people who have already cleared this particular course, experience to gain more knowledge and further things. Hope this session was helpful. And yeah, see you tomorrow around the same time, around 7 o'clock, where Sia will be taking the session, and around 8 or 9 o'clock, Shayant will be available to take further sessions for the GD and other things. Okay. So we'll also share the recording of the session if in case आपने थोड़ा late join किया होगा. So yeah, thank you. Any other suggestions, Shayant, before we end?
So it's fine. I think right now they should just focus on writing out the psychometric test. I think it's on 23rd.
Right.
So they complete that and then they can focus on the GD once their
Mhm.
selection comes out. Because no, obviously I think they should start preparing first. But obviously college को भी result देने में एक certain
Mhm.
amount of time लगेगा ही. So there's
Right.
I think some time they can take it easy as well. We can discuss this tomorrow.
Agree. So apart from the regular thing which will be having, make sure, because देखिए जिस रैंक पे आपका ये नागपुर एजुकेशन में सिलेक्शन हुआ है, सेम रैंक से आप साइड बाय साइड वैकेंसीज में भी स्पॉट राउंड में भी पार्ट ले रहे होंगे, राइट? सो इट शुड नॉट हैपन दैट यू मोस्टली फोकस ऑन दिस ओनली, बिकॉज ये लगभग 10 डेज 15 डेज का प्रोसेस होगा। एग्जाम्पल के लिए अगर इनका 23rd को साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट है, तो 5th of July से पहले इनका इंटरव्यू शेड्यूल नहीं होंगे। इंटरव्यूज विल बी शेड्यूल थोड़ा लेटर पॉइंट पे, बिकॉज वो जजेस से भी परमिशन लेते हैं। साइंस लोग के टाइम पे भी डिले हुआ था, बिकॉज जजेस एंड ऑल आल्सो कम एंड टेक द इंटरव्यू। सो दैट्स व्हाट वी सजेस्टिंग यू, keep all other options open. So we are appearing for this adjudication to keep one option. एक option आपके पास आ जाएगा, we'll compare with all the available options of the colleges which you'll be having, then we'll decide. Thank you for all of you for joining us today. Again, thank you so much and for your time. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you,
So,
guys.
yeah.